back to the SighSquad podcast.
Yo.
How you guys doing? We took a week off.
Yeah.
Back better than ever.
Disappointed with the Super Bowl.
I have heartburn from all the food I ate.
Nice. Well, you mentioned the Super Bowl, Brendan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happened yesterday.
Yeah, it did.
What'd you guys think of it?
It happened exactly how I expected it to happen.
All right.
That
It was
no
good,
surprise.
not great.
It
Not
was-
bad.
I thought, it was a very, I don't know, it was weird.
Better
'cause
than
it-
last year.
Yes.
Yes, I
It
would
was
agree.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a good game.
Sad.
I was just disappointed in the outcome.
Okay.
I was not. I mean, it's weird. Like, Kansas City ended up winning by double digits, but the game still felt way closer than what it, was. Like, I don't know, it's just Kansas City just did Kansas City. Like, they scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. That's basically what I said was going to be the game plan of the game. What are you going to do when you blink and they're right back down the field? And yeah, I thought it was fun to watch, though. It was fun to see Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid finally get that Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally get that Super Bowl.
I was happy for Andy Reid.
I was very happy for Andy Reid.
Well deserved.
Well overdue and well deserved. So, here's the next question. Whose fault is it why the Niners lost?
I think it's a combination of Shanahan and I guess Garoppolo and the whole. I think it's a combination of everything.
I would agree.
I can't say I wouldn't put it just on Kyle
But
Shanahan.
I wouldn't either.
Like, obviously, you can try to blame something for us, but, I just that was a good win instead of a bad loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just heard a lot of the pundits.
He
on
blew his
radio.
third Super Bowl.
Right, he blew again. He was being concerned. No, I didn't mind the play call by Kyle Shanahan. That was never the issue because all Jimmy G needed to do was hit Emmanuel Sanders. He overshot him by 5 yards. He hits him. San Francisco takes the lead and maybe wins the Super Bowl. But again, Jimmy G did not play good in the fourth quarter, and that was the big thing that I said was gonna be the factor of the game. Is Jimmy G gonna be able to hang with Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes didn't play great by any means either. But Jimmy G just didn't play good late, and that was kind of been the big narrative throughout this year. Is if you force them to pass, what Jimmy G you gonna get?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of made the difference. But like I said, if San Francisco scores a touchdown there, all the play calling by Kyle Shanahan works, and it.
Well, another part of it was that offensive pass interference on George Kittle at the second.
Which it was.
But the thing is Kyle Rudolph didn't get called for that in the Saints game that made them walk it off. And I felt like on a bigger stage like the Super Bowl, if you're not going to call it on Kyle Rudolph then, you shouldn't call it on George Kittle then. Because that would have put them in field goal range with 6 seconds left at the end of the second quarter, which would have put them up, I believe.
They would have put them up by 3.
Yeah, would have put them up by 3 instead of going into it as a tie.
Yeah.
Which, could have made a difference. Obviously, we will never know, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think it should have been called, actually. In a big game, you want it to be called.
Actually, though...
If it wasn't called, you'd hear so much more shit from the Kansas City fans than you would.
Yeah, you're not going to please. Well, not to mention it's different referees in this game what they were there. So it's all based on your personal preference of, it's just all based on what you want to call it or how you want to view it. Brendan, you can go.
One thing that was called a touchdown that was not a touchdown.
Yes,
that's
another one.
true.
Yes.
Damian Williams did not break the plane.
He did not. But you know what's weird? They didn't have a pylon cam?
Yeah, I thought
that was weird. I thought was weird. In the Super Bowl, you think you would have a pylon cam. It was not a touchdown. I do agree with that. Now, regardless, I do think.
But it would have been 4th and goal.
Would have been
on the line. So
Patrick Mahomes would have snuck it in anyways, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think you can say that because they were right on the line and he didn't do it so far.
Here's the thing though. So then, as opposed to winning by Kansas City won by 11, right? 11, they would have won by. Well, I mean, obviously,
if they're only up by 3,
right? Game call is a lot different. Also, yeah, that's true, but
when it comes down to the 1 yard line, you're right on the line. And they have a higher chance of getting it than not getting it.
I mean, I'm not like.
Well, and that's the thing too. Even if you don't get it, you're pitting San Fran on the 1 yard line. So it's just one of those things. I don't think it. I get what you're saying. Obviously, it was not a touchdown, but I fully assume that Kansas City would have ended up scoring, and even then, it would have been because Andy Reid was going for it. That was just a masterful coaching performance by Andy Reid by who's the defense coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Eric Bledsoe or something. Bledsoe. He should have been a head coach.
Yeah,
but he wasn't.
But it was just a great performance by both those coaches. Patrick Mahomes did not play great, but he did what he needed to do because that's what Patrick Mahomes does.
And on that front, his not doing well. So stat-wise, neither quarterback really had a great game.
No.
At the
not
end,
at all.
Patrick Mahomes threw 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and had a 78 rating.
Yeah.
Where Jimmy G, I think, threw 1 touchdown and 2 picks for a 69 rating.
That was Patrick Mahomes' first postseason career interception in the first 2.
It was, yeah, and it's crazy. Look at the stat line. San Francisco had averaged more yards. They had more red zone appearances, and they were 1,000% in the red zone. They had the better running game. Their defense probably, I mean, obviously not in the fourth quarter, but prior to the fourth quarter, their defense is playing better. It's just like you look at the stat line, you think San Fran would have won, but I just think the difference was obviously who has the better QB and who has the better coach, and that's what I said the difference was going to be.
One thing I want to say is I really liked that both of these teams actually maintained a high level of professionalism when it came. Like, there's a lot of respect.
I don't know. They got pretty damn shifty.
Except for that one drive in the third quarter where the Kansas City
whole fourth quarter, they were kind of chipping at each other.
Well, right, but that's when stakes are high. Whatever.
Well, like, the rest of the game and immediately after the game, it was nothing but...
the 2 undrafted guys, Mostert and the guy from the Chiefs. Crap, I can't think of his name. Yeah, they had a moment in the huddle.
They did. That was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Seeing Nick Bosa cry was just tough because it just sucks. Here's a crazy stat that I will say about Nick Bosa. So Pro Football Focus did their fancy analytics and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Nick Bosa that entire game either sacked, pressured, or hurried the quarterback 30.7% of the time. No other defensive player has even come close to that. He's never even broke 20. That is insane. Nick Bosa, if you would have watched that game, it was just so insanely good.
And they were double covering in the second half.
Well, yeah, in the second half. And all he was doing is literally just shoving linemen out of the way. It was so crazy. Like, it's just so crazy Patrick Mahomes was even able to do what he did that game. And like I said, it's just Tyreek Hill made just some big plays. Travis Kelce had a nice few nights. I thought Damian Williams should have won MVP personally.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Just because Patrick Mahomes had a couple turnovers, but he did make just some really big throws late in the game.
He definitely kept him that game, even
without a doubt.
Though, like on those crucial third downs, he was running the ball to get them the first
without
4
a
or 5
doubt
times. And
I definitely think the shout-out's got to go to the Kansas City defense. Like, obviously that team was in question. That's been their weak point last 2 years. Heck, they could have won it back-to-back if it wasn't for defense.
Yeah.
But they stepped up. They stepped up a lot. They forced San Francisco to throw the football. That's why I said what was going to have to be the difference. And Jimmy G just nothing on Jimmy G. That was his first big moment. Like, oh, he's a 2-time. No, this was his first Super Bowl. This was his big moment, and it's like what happened to Jared Goff. It's just you're a young quarterback. You're not used to these moments, and that's just what it came down to. He just missed some throws, and
I feel like the difference between Jimmy G and Jared Goff is I feel like we can see Jimmy G in the Super Bowl again.
Nah, I could definitely see the Rams making the Super Bowl again.
I don't know if they can.
Bringing that up, I was actually thinking about this last night towards the end of the game, and I was thinking about this. Do you guys think the 49ers or the Chiefs have a better chance to go back next year?
Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Do you think the
100%.
Chiefs?
I think the NFC is still more competitive than the AFC.
Yes.
Especially with whatever Tom Brady ends up doing and Lamar Jackson still being young. I think that the Chiefs will probably be in the mix for it next year. If the Chiefs were in the AFC Championship game next year, I wouldn't blink. That wouldn't surprise me at all. The Niners, I think, had a really good season. I think they had I don't know. I don't think the Niners are going to repeat this year. It's not going to be as good.
I personally think that the Niners actually have a better shot because of actually Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Because I feel like they are going to make a bigger push this next year because that team isn't having much that's going to change in the offseason. And they really dominated during the regular season. Now, I mean, obviously Tennessee cracked the code. Just shut down everything on offense, and
but a lot of that's one of those things where it's easier said than done, sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee just had a really good game plan. Yeah. I do think it's Kansas City because here's the thing: Patrick Mahomes is now the face of the NFL.
Yeah,
he is the best quarterback in the NFL, and I don't even think it's maybe Lamar Jackson, but I don't even think it's
Patrick Mahomes.
I definitely would too, but I want to say it's not even close. I don't want to say it's not even close, but I mean
it's not.
I don't think it is. And that's just what's going to come. Even if you do pay him a lot of money, which he's going to make the most money in the history of North American sports, that is going to be a thing. Yeah. They're not going to be able to re-sign a lot of these good athletes that they have, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's just going to be a lot of things like the Patriots. Just bring on the next guy up. Patrick Mahomes will make it work. And again, there's just more competition in the NFC. Heck, San Francisco is going to have the most competition in their own division. They're going to have to play the Rams twice, Seattle twice. Arizona is going to be a lot better next year. They have to play them twice. That could be three to four losses just right there alone.
I think with the Niners too, like the Chiefs, I feel like are going to be good for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like the Niners are going to be one of those NFC teams where this is a really special year for them. But it's not saying they're not going to have another special year, but every year is not going to be like this for them. Like the Chiefs.
Well, and the thing is, San Francisco, I think, to an extent, got lucky at points. They did have to play one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. They had a last place schedule. Now, obviously, they beat some good teams.
Yeah.
But even then, in the playoffs, they had to play the Vikings. And no offense to the Packers, but the Packers were probably one of the worst 13-3 teams ever. Now, regardless, they were still 13-3. I won't take that away. But San Francisco was easily the better team, you know. And then obviously, what happens is I think they just played a better football team. I think they played a better coach team. They just played a better quarterback. Maybe not a better defense, because obviously that front seven for San Francisco is just gonna wreak havoc for the next couple of years. Like, I don't even care what happened, what changes with that team, whether they change quarterback in a few years, because there's going to be that question probably going into throughout the next years. Oh, can Jimmy G get the job done? Because he hasn't really proven in those big spots that he can get the job done. You look at Seattle, you look at the Super Bowl, all that stuff, but almost blew the game against Seattle at the end of the year. Like, it's just going to be one of those questions for him. But no matter what changes, that front seven is going to be there. It's ridiculous how good they are. Ridiculous.
They're going to get Joey Bosa in 2 years.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
If you had the Bosa brothers on the same team.
Scurry.
I don't know. I think it was a special season for them, but I don't think they're going to repeat it next year.
I don't know. I definitely think they'll be good. I think they'll be
good. They'll probably
playoff contenders for sure.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, if they don't win the division, I would not be totally shocked.
No, me neither.
I would not be totally shocked.
But that's also just because of how good the division is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's literally all it is. I think that division is just probably honestly going to be the best division in football.
Yeah.
The Rams could go 9-7 next year and maybe finish last place. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, they're what the AFC West was. Gosh, 2015, 16. One of those years where the Broncos made the Super Bowl, where the 3 teams, they were all like 8-8 or better.
Yeah, they all had a winning
record. The playoffs, like, it was just, they were good. And I think that the NFC West is going to be just like that. And I don't think it's going to be a thing that changes. Like, the AFC West was kind of like a 2-3 year thing. I think the NFC West could go on for the next 5-10 years.
I don't know about that. I feel like those change pretty fast. I feel like every year it's a new division.
The biggest problem is, after this next year, the Seahawks are kind of rented. Because they're going to lose so much.
No, because I don't even think Seattle's that good of a team. I just think when you have Russell Wilson, like, you're gonna be in contention.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And obviously, like, we have to wait for like some off-season stuff that needs to happen. Whatever. But it's gonna be tough for San Fran. The road will definitely be tougher, but I think it's an obstacle that they can definitely overcome, because I do think they're a legit football team.
Yeah.
But it won't be as easy as it seemed this year.
So obviously, the game was the majority. The reason majority of people watched it, but some people don't watch it for the actual game.
Yeah.
And some people just watch it for the commercials.
Yeah.
Commercials are pretty good this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, it had its bad ones, but I think every Super Bowl has bad ones.
We would like to shout out Vernon Davis on retirement.
Yeah.
Former
Great way to go out.
49er.
Yeah, it was a great, and Redskin and Bronco. It was a great way to go out. Like that, and a Golden Girl skit with Gronk and
That was
James
a little
Harrison.
weird, but
I kind of liked it. It was funny.
I like how he did that.
So congrats to him.
Yeah.
And then back to the commercials.
So do you guys just want to go around and say your favorite one?
Sure.
Just wanna rank for him? I liked the Mountain Dew one. I know that wasn't some of your favorite ones. I liked it. I thought I've read The Shining and seen the movie, and I liked the spoof of it.
Nice. My favorite ad wasn't really an ad. It was more the intro to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
NFL 100 conclusion with a bunch of all the young guys passing on the torch to the new generation.
Yeah.
I thought all the moments in there were cool, like how with all the different players that he interacted with throughout his run to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And then my actual commercial would be the Cool Ranch Doritos Lil Nas Sam Elliott commercial because I just thought it was hilarious.
That was awesome.
I really liked the Groundhog's Day one. I thought that one was
the
funny.
Jeep
with Bill
one.
Murray.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty funny.
Have you all seen that movie?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it.
That's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I have not actually.
Seen Groundhog Day? You should
It's
go watch
really
it.
funny.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Am I going next, Brendan?
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love the Jason Momoa one where he like peels off it, where he's peeling off his muscles and stuff,
Yeah,
like just
that
being
was
comfortable
weird.
and stuff. It was weird, but it was just so freaking hilarious. I just thought it was funny. The Jason Day one, the Tide was also really good.
Yeah.
Charlie Day.
Not Jason Day. Sorry, I
Jason
apologize.
Momoa, you got it right. First time.
Yeah.
It's Charlie Day though.
Yeah. You go, Brendan.
Oh, I thought if you have more, you have more.
Oh, I just like the smart talk.
Mom.
That one.
It's so funny.
But it was also just super star-studded.
Yes.
Like Chris Evans was in it, and
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, Big Poppy.
Yeah,
it was great.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like that one too.
It's a ghost cat.
So it was my favorite commercial was actually the TurboTax were tax people, and they said like do the tax dance, and they were all just the people shaking their legs. Because I started doing that, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like I'm doing the tax dance.
Oh,
That one was more just me being dumb to the dumb commercial. Though.
So what did y'all think of the halftime show?
loved it. Loved
I
every
loved-
set.
I
Loved
enjoyed it. I thought
Loved
it was
it.
one of the better halftime shows
Best
we've seen in the
halftime show
past
since
Loved
Katy
it.
Perry.
20 years.
Loved it.
Shakira was the king in the beginning. I liked the little guitar thing they did at the beginning. I thought J-Lo wasn't really good. And who was the rapper?
Bad Bunny and
Awful.
J Balvin.
Awful. That rapping guy was awful. Couldn't understand a word he was saying. Didn't care. 'Cause,
Well,
like,
first of all, he was speaking Spanish.
So
So
that's what I couldn't even tell. I couldn't even tell. It was so bad.
I could.
Loved it.
I
I
could
didn't
make
like
out
Shakira and J Lo. I think they could have picked better people.
Loved it.
See,
I loved
okay,
it.
I'm not gonna lie. I went into this and I'm like, why are we doing Shakira and J Lo,
Just
two
making sure.
washed up pop stars that
Loved
haven't really done anything in the past 10 years? But then when they both came on, like when Shakira came up, I was like, oh my god, she can still perform, and
Loved
she
it.
hasn't done
They
this.
nailed it.
Loved
Yeah,
it.
and then J Lo came on, and I don't know why people be flaming J Lo. I think that her performance is actually really good.
Loved it.
I don't know. I'm scared that we're gonna keep getting more of these older, washed up pop stars instead.
No, we'll take it.
Loved it.
I just want
Loved
to
the
see like,
halftime
I want to see
show.
like a rock band perform at the halftime
Yeah,
again.
that
Like
Metallica?
That's what a
Oh,
lot of
Metallica,
people are
Metallica.
saying.
well, like
Well, no,
here's the thing,
Metallica
is, like,
did it
I
not
get
too long ago.
why.
We wouldn't love that.
I get
No,
why
I
they
would
do,
not
like,
love
the
it.
pop people.
I love J Lo and Shakira. That's what I love.
See, but the problem with the Super Bowl halftime show is it's not really targeted towards.
Y'all are overthinking it.
It's not
It
really
was
targeted
awesome.
towards football fans.
Which that's what I mean.
It's targeted to get the
people
girls,
that- yeah.
like realistically, the girls and the people that were brought there that don't want anything to do
Yeah,
with
and
sports. It's
yeah.
targeted to them.
and I get that, but like even like see like Fallout Boy or like Panic at the Disco or something like more than like just
Fall
pop.
Out Boy.
I don't know. No, like I'm just
Shakira or J Lo or Fall Out Boy.
I don't know. It's kinda
Ooh.
hard.
But I definitely think that getting Shakira and J-Lo was a good expense for the NFL's assets.
Here's something.
Loved.
I mean, to be
Halftime
honest,
show.
I honestly didn't even really watch it. I was on my phone.
I watched. I came
Like, I
back
didn't
and
even
watched
really
it.
care.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that good. It was better
Listen.
than last year. It was better than that train
Yeah,
wreck, but
yeah.
Listen, did you watch what they were doing?
I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
I don't know. It may be different.
Wait. Ben, was Rachel there?
No, I
I
watched
was
the whole
gonna
thing
say
by
it
myself.
may
I
be
didn't
different for
like-
me because I'm a single man. I love the halftime show. I loved every second of
It did exactly what it was supposed
It did
to
exactly what it was supposed to do to entertain me, and that's exactly what it did. Loved the halftime show. Loved it.
It made me remember how much I actually like Shakira.
do. The one thing,
Exactly.
the one
Loved it.
argument was it wasn't very kid friendly.
Who cares? Kids are going to learn about sex at some point in their lives. If
What?
this is the most they learn, like
That wasn't kid friendly.
How is that not kid friendly?
Pole dancing?
Oh, it was definitely not
Pole
kid friendly.
dancing should not be knocked as a kid friendly.
Oh,
Pole
what else
dancing is a
what was the
great
whole-
exercise.
Okay,
What do you call that?
Shakira was doing it.
Belly?
Shakira was reminding us that her hips don't lie. That's all I'm gonna say. She was just reminding us.
But that's the other debate out there.
Loved it.
But-
Loved the halftime show.
It's the same thing if they were to bring in like Adam Levine, shirtless with hands half out. I don't know.
Well, I'm still pissed at Maroon 5 that they didn't do the Sweet Victory last year.
Oh yeah,
so
me too.
Still pissed about that, but it is what it is.
Noah.
Hold on, before we get to that,
Oh,
I just
yeah,
want to
wait.
we can do one quick round table thing. I can pull up a timer real quick. We can do like 30 seconds apiece. We can do final thoughts on the Super Bowl, like a rating. What would you guys give it out of 10? Me personally, out of 10, personally,
The whole Super Bowl?
the whole Super Bowl, like as a collective, the halftime show, the ads, the actual game itself, like everything together. What would you guys rate? Personally, I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it was good. Didn't think it was great. Definitely didn't think it was bad as a whole. Like, it was an okay Super Bowl. I don't think I'll remember it in 10 years, but it was definitely okay.
I'm actually going to give it the exact same rating as you. The game was pretty good. I didn't really like the halftime show. The ads were kind of hit and miss. It was good enough to watch, but like you said, I'm not going to remember it in 10 years. I'm not going to be like, hey guys, remember when Shakira twerked on the
Yes,
halftime
I am going
show?
to remember that.
I'm not. I don't
That's
care.
going to be forever in Noah's memory, though.
That's
How
all-
was it?
6.5 out of 10. It was 8.
Yes.
Crazy that she's
Agreed.
50.
Noah, you seem really passionate. You
Who
should
wants
go
to go
next.
next?
I'll go next. I give that Super Bowl an 8, because here's why. The commercials were good. Like, there was enough funny commercials to keep me entertained. The game itself, I am going to remember this in 10 years, because this is going to be the Super Bowl. This is going to be the moment that we remember when Patrick Mahomes arrived. Because this could be the start of what could be a legendary, maybe even the GOAT of quarterbacks. We don't know, but this is how I'll remember it. And again, the Super Bowl halftime show was great. I loved the halftime show.
Okay.
Alrighty. So I would also give it an 8 or an 8.25 to change it up. Halftime show was 10.
Yes.
Right?
10.
So that put up. Commercials were about a 7, 6, 7.
Yeah, that's fine.
In
Drop
that
it
area,
down.
right?
Drop down the average.
They dropped it down, right? And the Super Bowl was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. As a Broncos fan, I wasn't necessarily on the Chiefs side. I respected Andy Reid. I respected Patrick Mahomes. It was a good game both ways, and so that's why I give it my score.
Alright, I'm ready. So, I would give the Super Bowl a rating of 8 out of 10. Just like Noah.
Okay.
Because halftime show,
was
awesome.
awesome.
Best one
Worst
in the
part
past.
of the whole thing.
It
No,
was- no,
absolutely
the
not.
halftime show
I agree.
was the best halftime show since Katy Perry. I will say that over and over. Best halftime show in the past 5 years. Well, Katy Perry would be at the start of that, but Katy Perry's halftime show is just legendary. The commercials were hit or miss, but the ones that were duds were kind of easy to tell at the beginning, so it was a great time to go get more snacks, or go use the bathroom, or go get a drink.
Sure.
Although I actually happened to miss the Tom Brady Hulu commercial until afterwards.
Oh.
I did enjoy that
Fun
commercial
fact.
just because I love it when people.
The
like
game
that.
was very well. Probably the only thing that takes it down
Time's
from
up.
being like a 9 is because the Chiefs won. But I want to say Andy
He's
Reid
going over
deserves
because
it.
he'll be under later.
Patrick
in that,
Mahomes
so.
deserves it, and Tyrann Mathieu for coming from next to nothing and then coming to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He definitely deserves it.
A lot of just shout out to Andy Reid because now people can talk about how he won't be considered the best coach to never win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Shout out to
That's
Andy
true.
Reid because he deserved it more than anybody on that field that day.
Lynch, first ballot Hall of Fame, I think, as a coach.
Oh, and I thought he already had it regardless, but like you said, it's clinched.
Yep.
Right, set it in stone. Write it down.
He got his 222nd career. Is it career win
Mm-hmm.
on 2/2 of 2020?
And technically, this is his second Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Technically.
His first as a head coach.
Yeah, first as a head coach, so technically he got his second Super Bowl.
Yeah,
on
but
his
it means
222nd.
a little more when you're a
Yeah.
head coach.
Yeah, but just to go with the twos thing. It was technically his second on his 222nd.
And now he's finally gonna have a feast at the White House. That
Hell
man,
yeah.
he deserves that. That I can tell you. I can tell you that much.
He's gonna be
I'm
eating tons
surprised
of Big Macs.
that I'm surprised that like his wife didn't have a cheeseburger ready for him, because he did say that if he won the Super Bowl, he wanted to eat a cheeseburger and go to bed.
He said
that's how he wanted to celebrate.
He said I might even get a double tonight. That's what he said for his cheeseburger.
Yeah, it was a good time. So now Noah,
yeah,
we had somebody comment on a post of ours.
Yeah,
we did.
Football and Chill podcast. We're calling you out.
Calling him out.
Calling him out.
Okay, I don't want
to.
Calling your ass out, buddy.
Damn.
Ooh.
You said Eli Manning is the luckiest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl.
You said discredit him as a Hall of Famer.
That's true. You also said that the only reason he'll be in the Hall of Fame is because of his name. And Noah's here to tell you why you are wrong, sir.
All right. Well, first off, I'm very respectful of your opinion. Obviously, like respect to everyone out there. I think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. I do think when you look at the Hall of Fame resume, it's got to come down to more than just pure stats. It comes down to what can you do what have you done in the history of the game that has made you relevant? Like, are you relevant? Eli Manning obviously is relevant because you can't talk about the Patriots dynasty without Eli Manning. He's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP against the GOAT. We can talk about that stuff. My big thing is like, you want, like, people are going to attack the main points. He was 117 in his career. He has all these interceptions, all these turnovers, blah, blah, blah. Here is my thing. So the 117, you can look at it as, okay, he was an inconsistent quarterback, but I'm going to look at it as he's had nine winning seasons, and throughout his time in the NFCs in the early part of the 2000s, up until about 2013, that division was as competitive as it can be. You got Andy Reid in the Philadelphia Eagles. Say what you want about Jason Garrett, but there's a reason he's never been fired in Dallas. Why they kept him for that long. That was a good team with Tony Romo. The year the Giants actually won the Super Bowl, the NFCs had 3 representatives in the playoffs in 2007. Cowboys won the division. Giants got the 5 seed. Redskins got the 6 seed. So Eli Manning, yes, I understand a lot of it, and a lot of his losses have been in the last few years. That's kind of my big thing. He's had some terrible, terrible teams in the last few years. And eventually the cycle of life happens. You lose your start. Loss of Daniel Jones. The biggest thing for me too is, and he's also top 10 in passing yards and touchdowns. You can say that about his longevity, but my big thing is I think that's kind of obsolete about how long he's played, because then that means you discredit what Drew Brees has done, you discredit what Tom Brady has done, because if they don't play 20, or Brett Favre, because if they don't play as long as they do, they don't break those records. And you can say like, oh well, a lot of these, he only played 16 years and did this, and like, okay, well, you look at like interceptions and all that stuff. He's not even top 10 all-time in interceptions. If we want to compare the interception numbers, Brett Favre had more interceptions. Johnny Unitas had more interceptions in an era that wasn't completely all passing. Dan Marino had more interceptions. You can look at if you want to go into the QBR numbers. Eli Manning has an 86 career QBR, which isn't great, but again, that is higher than Troy Aikman. That is higher than Brett Favre.
Call him out.
I'm not going to call him out. I'm just doing the counter argument. So for me, you can't just look at the pure numbers. You have to look at outside of what everything is done. Eli Manning has had some good teammates. Like, that's one thing I'll agree with you on that. Offensively, he's had some good weapons. He's had 4 players who have ran for over 1,000 yards. Tiki Barber, Ahmad Bradshaw, Saquon Barkley, and Brandon Jacobs. All ran for over 1,000 yards. He's had some good receivers in his time. Mario Manningham, Victor Cruz, OBJ, obviously, to name a few. He's had good but not, like, elite talent other than OBJ and Saquon and all that. Tiki was great. His attitude just kind of got in the way. My biggest thing is they were always a pass-first team because they never really had elite running back talent until they got through the Tiki Barber and up to the Saquon. Never really had elite running talent. They were a pass-first team, and a lot of the times it's because their defense did not play up to par. Eli Manning has only 3 years in his career, or 3 times in his career where he's had a defense be ranked in the top half. And, right. And you can talk about, and that's another thing too, you want to talk about his playoff success. I will give a low blow. If you want to talk about playoffs, let's talk about his brother. Let's talk about Drew Brees. Yeah, obviously they are both way better than Eli Manning. I will never ever deny that. But if you want to talk about playoff success, Peyton Manning has had the better team.
Take a shot.
No, but people are like, oh no, that's cheap. You can't compare Peyton to Eli. Well, if we're talking about playoff success, I'm going to. Because Peyton Manning, throughout that AFC, has only had 2 real opponents, Tom Brady and Big Ben. You know, that's really it. Eli Manning's had to play tough within his own division.
Don't forget Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco pre-contract was not terrible. Then you look in the NFC, it's like you had to compete with, the Green Bay Packers because they went really from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
No team will ever be so lucky as to go from 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Like, that's crazy.
I think the closest one you can get is Joe Montana to Steve Young.
And that's honestly it because those are 2 Hall of Famers. The Packers had 2 straight Hall of Famers with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They've been lucky with that. The Falcons and the Saints have always been good. The whole NFC East was very, very competitive.
Tom Brady to Jarrett Stidham.
Stop it. And in terms of luck, first off, you need a little bit of luck to go your way. Because obviously, David Tyree made one of the most iconic catches of all time with the helmet catch. 9 times out of 10, he doesn't catch that. And I get that. But 9 times out of 10, Julian Edelman even breathes or blinks. Like, if Julian Edelman breathes funny or he blinks at that instance, that's an incomplete pass against Atlanta. And they don't win that Super Bowl. Pete Carroll making one of the most boneheaded play calls of all time. That doesn't happen. Seattle probably goes back to back. Again, these are all hypotheticals, and I usually don't like to deal with hypotheticals. I like to deal with what is given to me. But you need a little bit of luck to go your way. So for me, I don't really buy into that argument. And I don't have all the numbers on me right now because if I were to just go into all of it, I could have my own 25-minute episode about it. Because there's just so much to analyze. Because this guy went into all of his playoff stats, all of his regular seasons, year by year. I didn't go that. I was just kind of looking at things kind of outside of his control because that's kind of my thing. I have to do with LeBron all the time. So I'm kind of used to defending that kind of right because everyone's like, oh, he's not 6 for 6. But I'm like, yeah, but let's look into the analytics of it. I don't know. I just feel like when you're top 10 in every major passing category and you look at the interception numbers, that's why that you're going to turn the ball over when you pass the ball a lot. He's played. What's so funny, Duncan?
Keep going.
Oh, nervous.
No, keep going.
Oh, okay.
We're liking it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's just kind of my rundown. He's never, and he's also had bad, outside of Tom Coughlin, he's never had great coaching. Tom Coughlin's a great coach, obviously, but I don't know. I just feel like Eli Manning's just had some tough competition. He's never been top 10 he's never led in any major passing category. That's because he's probably had to play some of the most elite quarterback talent that we probably have ever seen. In collective, talent that we've seen, probably the best in our era. So, but I think Eli Manning's Hall of Fame. Not first ballot by any means. Not first ballot. His name does help. I will agree with that. But that you can't say that's the only reason he's getting to the Hall of Fame. I think he has numbers to back it up. I think when you look at interception numbers and QBR, there's also other Hall of Fame quarterbacks that don't live up to that standard, but we don't question them because, they have the ring. They've made their relevancy in history. That's just kind of how I view it, I guess. I mean, like I said, I don't have all the numbers on me right now, but yeah.
Tune in for next year when we defend why Joe Flacco should or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh boy, is that what you guys are thinking the whole time?
No.
Okay.
Me and Duncan were playing with drawers.
Because Joe Flacco's not a Hall of Famer.
Wait until we debate Matt Ryan in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's going to be
that's going to be a big one.
That I could see. I can see that. I have no issue with that one.
Anyways.
So, Eli Manning is going to be a Hall of Famer.
So, yeah, what do you guys think? I just been blabbing on. What do you guys
From
think?
the SighSquad podcast.
Yeah.
I think we all agreed.
You don't win 2 Super Bowls and not make it to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I don't care how you do it.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, it's just
not the quarterback.
It's he's got the numbers that, obviously you can say the defense has stepped up. Yeah, defense stepped up. Awesome. But you still need a compatible quarterback to get it done. And Eli Manning's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Yes. And you can be like, oh, but he only passed for 200-some yards in the Super Bowl. But Tom Brady didn't play that great in either Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes this year
didn't play great.
Yes,
Peyton Manning's second ring was off of a defense.
That's what I mean.
Literally one off of
Broncos.
Hell,
gang,
I'll
gang.
even go into never mind. I had it in my mind, but I lost it. But
Good.
It's a
oh
great-
no, Tom Brady. I'll even go with Tom
Okay.
Brady. Tom
Okay.
Brady in his first couple of people didn't play great. He was reliant on a great defense. Now obviously Tom Brady led game-winning drives, but still wasn't outstanding. The only time honestly Brady has been absolutely outstanding in the Super Bowl was against Philadelphia, and he lost.
What about the Falcons? When
Sorry, yeah, and
when he
Atlanta.
lifted him up from a
Oh yeah, no,
28-3
and that
deficit?
solidified Brady as a guy. I had a blur moment there. Yeah, obviously that, but that was obviously all in the second half, obviously.
But yeah, obviously Tom Brady with the greatest quarterback performance in a Super Bowl against the Eagles.
Yeah, and the reason no one talks
to not win.
and the reason no one talks about it is because they didn't win that Super Bowl. If he wins that Super Bowl, that's the greatest Super Bowl performance in NFL history. Like no question. That may be one of the best championship games in any sport. You know.
Yeah.
Guys, possible breaking news. It'll be passed when you
Somebody
guys
gets
hear
traded?
it. No.
Shit.
WWE Raw may be canceled tonight due to the snowstorm in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Ooh.
That would make it interesting because the only other time in my memory that they've ever canceled.
1997.
No, they actually happened a few years ago, and they
Yeah.
were in. It was. Oh, I don't remember.
It was
where
in
they were.
2015.
Yes, because it was the year Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble.
And
Because
then,
I remember TNT or USA showed a replay of the Rumble, so I
Yeah.
was like, "Let's go!"
Yeah.
And then I had to rewatch that stupid
And then
thing.
when Chris Benoit died, the only time,
Yeah.
times that there hasn't been a live episode that I remember. So that would be huge news that if it does end up getting canceled, we will talk about it next week. I think what they would end up doing is they'd do exactly what they did last time. They'd end up showing one of the Royal Rumbles.
That'd be kinda
Which
cool. Even though I've already watched.
I've already watched them, but still, I could see them doing that. Show the Brock, show Drew McIntyre. That solidified Drew McIntyre. But we'll get into that in a minute. Next, we're gonna rapid fire on some quick topics here. First of all, we got the NFL honors. So NFL honors the night before the Super Bowl. MVP Lamar Jackson. Thoughts? 5 seconds each.
Surprised it was unanimous. Not surprised he won it.
No, I'm not
Not
surprised.
surprised.
He deserves to be unanimous.
Yeah.
Well, I was just
Okay.
surprised because
He was the best running back in the league.
Whatever you want to say. Defense Player of the Year, Stephen Gilmore. What do y'all think?
I want
Deserves
15
it.
seconds for this one.
Oh, okay.
15. Go.
Tied for first interceptions, tied with 3 people with 6 interceptions, is the lowest interception leader in NFL history with 6. He had the same touchdown to interception, or to allowing the touchdowns and to catching interceptions ratio as Tre'Davious White, and he had about the exact same passer rating thrown to him as Tre'Davious White. I don't think he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. I think it should have been Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones led the league in forced fumble recovery, and had nearly 20 sacks, 19 sacks.
I'd agree with you on that.
I agree.
I had no issue with Stephon Gilmore.
I don't have an issue with it, but he definitely his stats
It
were
wasn't
from the
an
first
amazing
half of the
season.
they were from the first half of the season that really carried him.
And
And,
who
and
did he play?
who did they play? His 2 picks were against the Cincinnati Bengals. Woo!
Right. Nah, here's my actually thing with defense. I argue that you want less stats from your DBs because you know what that means? They're not throwing your way. They are not throwing your way.
That's true. That's always the thing with Chris Harris.
Yeah. So he only had 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Harris was a safety who's supposed to be a ball hawk like that. Stephon Gilmore, like you said, and obviously Stephon Gilmore didn't play any a lot of great teams when he probably got those interceptions. But I mean, I didn't hear much of people shredding Stephon Gilmore in the year. You know,
And it wasn't like
and he also was the best defensive player on the best defense in the league. That's got to
it
count for
wasn't like he
something.
didn't have a good year. He just didn't have a Defensive Player of the Year. Like he
Oh,
had a
I
good
know.
year.
I definitely think he had Chandler Jones, obviously, great. Like, he was great, and I would have had no issue with him. But I don't know. I would have gave my vote to Stephon Gilmore.
My vote probably would have been either Chandler Jones or Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. Just because Shaq Barrett... Like, Chandler Jones obviously did a lot of other stuff. But I feel like with Shaq Barrett, it's just a lot of... I don't know where he stood at in, tackles in the year and all that. But
He was.
Yeah, but
He had,
Blake Martinez was second in the league in tackles.
no, but I just mean, just because you get a lot of sacks doesn't mean you should necessarily be defensive player.
Yeah.
Chandler Jones has all the other stuff to back it
Right.
up.
Yeah.
But I don't know Shaquille Barrett
I'd
does.
put Shaquille Barrett more closer to comeback player of the year.
I was
Just
kind of
because
surprised.
he was kind
We'll
of.
get to that one.
Oh, sorry.
He was
I
kind of not. I don't know. He was not great on the Broncos. He goes to Tampa Bay. I know.
Please leaves.
You can. Here's your opportunity. Take it. He took it and he ran with it. So kind of like what we'll get to here in a minute with somebody else.
Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, hands down,
100%.
No argument.
Yeah, none.
I had no issue with it.
No.
Comeback Player of the Year, Ryan Tannehill.
Kind of interesting.
I thought it was also interesting. I liked it, but...
I like it, and a lot of people were kind of upset because Jimmy G was directly behind him, and they felt Jimmy G should have gotten it because he came off after injury and stuff like that. But I feel like Ryan Tannehill definitely was the most deserving because he was on the Titans as a backup with only supposed to be there if Marcus Mariota gets injured.
Let him a win away from the Super Bowl and led the NFL in QBR once he started.
And I can see why they gave it to him. Like, he deserved it. I was a little surprised Dalvin Cook didn't get more votes.
Nah, because he kind of was on the downhill and he got hurt again.
Well, but that's the thing is he got hurt again.
And after that, his numbers just weren't the same. Even honestly, towards before he got hurt, he was definitely kind of...
Well, because before, going from weeks 1 through 10, he was easily a top 3 running back.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. And that was after coming off of, 2 injury-filled years.
Well, right.
So, like I said, I'm not surprised Dalvin Cook didn't win, but I thought he should have gotten more votes than what he did. But
so next we have the offensive rookie of the
biggest
year.
snub of the year.
Josh Jacobs
should have been Josh Jacobs, but I have no issue with Kyler Murray winning it.
No,
I have an issue with it. Josh Jacobs should have won it. He should have.
I don't think Josh Jacobs didn't have an insane season.
Neither did Kyler Murray.
Yeah, but
for being the first overall pick, no going wrong, that Cardinals offense was terrible.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think Kyler Murray definitely did better with less. So, I think that's to play a big factor into it, too. Kyler Murray was great this year. I think Kyler Murray's going to be a beast, and I hate it because he's in the NFC West, but it is what it is. But I would have gave my vote to Josh Jacobs. He's, was one of the... Because where did he finish?
Finished 8th in total rushing yards. But I know he broke the Raiders rookie record, and he was a bruiser.
The only thing I don't like about Josh Jacobs is the first half of the season he was so inconsistent.
Yeah. That's honestly could have been the difference why they... I guess so was Kyler Murray. It took him a while to kind of get going, too. And I think that's the thing, too, because, I think with Offensive Rookie of the Year, there wasn't anybody that was, the obvious choice.
Gardner Minshew.
I'm just kidding.
Gardner Minshew.
He would have won Rookie of the Year if they would have kept him in, I think. If they would have brought Nick Foles back.
Yeah, but like we talked about in past episodes...
Go to the archives.
It's
been a while since we talked about Gardner Minshew, actually.
It's because he hasn't really...
That's why we go to the archive.
Relive
better times.
Minshew
Mania. But I understand why I had to put Nick Foles in. You pay a guy that much money, you feel like just...
Defensive Rookie of the Year,
Nick Bosa.
No arguments.
100%.
I don't have an issue.
I'm
kidding.
There's
no debate.
What? No question.
Literally, the Super Bowl solidifies this.
Joey Bosa literally about to win Defensive Player of the Year next year, potentially.
You mean Nick Bosa?
What did I say?
Joey.
His brother could if he wanted to.
No, but I think Nick Bosa is easily better than Joey.
Oh,
easily.
for sure.
Nick Bosa made Joey Bosa look washed up.
Huh?
Joey Bosa's
a freaking beast.
Next we got Coach. I wasn't surprised. I was kind of disappointed.
No surprise, no issue. Deserved it. Absolutely. No question.
Well,
if the Steelers would have made the playoffs, it should have been Mike Tomlin. But since they didn't...
Alright, so I'll just give you who I thought should have been right there. I think it should have been...
Vic Fangio.
Hell no.
No, I'm just kidding.
I thought it should have been Matt LaFleur.
Okay.
You take that team. Probably one of the best rookie coaching jobs we've seen. Ben obviously won't argue with that.
14-3 your first year head coaching isn't bad.
It's not bad. But also had a cupcake schedule, and they also had a bottom half defense and above average offense.
So what he did?
Didn't LaFleur finish 3rd in the coach
I think
John Harbaugh literally changed the freaking game of football to revolve around one quarterback. John Harbaugh went all in on this change for the NFL, and it worked to perfection, and that's a lot of that has to do with Jim Harbaugh.
Okay. Mike, what's his face? The Titans?
Mike
Mike
Vrabel.
I thought he should have been more in contention for that.
Not
because of what I get it. It's more Derrick Henry and Tannehill, but still,
I think it's more also like beginning of the year. They are off to a slow start, but obviously they picked it up, and I think they made the AFC Championship purely off of coach. Not purely, but you know what I mean. Like that was a lot of it had to do with coaching to stop Lamar Jackson the way they did, you know, and obviously to go into Foxborough and win, like that's for one game you outcoach Bill Belichick, like that's hard to do.
And then the one that's gonna come surprising for me, Andy Reid. He Patrick Mahomes went out, no sweat.
That's true. Remember when I was telling my buddies this? Remember when Patrick Mahomes got hurt and we all kind of ruled out Kansas City?
No sweat at all.
No sweat. They still. I mean, what was their record? I mean, I know they because Patrick Mahomes was
11-5.
Yeah, no, they finished 12-4 in the regular season. But I mean, like, what was the record without Patrick Mahomes? Like 2-2, something like that.
Yeah, it was 2-2.
Yeah,
2-2. I mean, that's
beat the Vikings, beat the
hell yeah, suck against backup quarterbacks.
Broncos, and then
Packers beat them.
Packers did beat them.
They did.
Mm-hmm. Kept it close though.
But yeah, and then assistant coach of the year, obviously Greg Roman. I thought it also could have been
the defensive coordinator
Robert Saleh. Yeah,
he didn't win.
No.
To be honest, I didn't even know who won that award.
Greg Roman, the Ravens backup.
Yeah, no, yeah. And that's fine, but
it's fine.
Not Robert Saleh?
That's what I was.
Yeah. Ooh, I would have gave it to him personally. That's crazy.
For football.
Fun fact: now real football starts.
Exactly.
Real football.
When is the first XFL game?
The first XFL game is this Saturday.
What time?
At 2 p.m. Eastern.
I'll be at work.
On ABC. It will be the Sea Dragons versus the Seattle Dragons versus the DC Defenders.
I think that's my team.
There's going to be an exciting matchup here.
I think I switched to the Defenders because I had somebody I like.
Then we got coming up Saturday night, 5 p.m. Eastern, on Fox, LA Wildcats, Houston Roughnecks. It's going to be a battle.
Woo!
Can't wait. Then Sunday, we fly over to 2 p.m. Eastern, on Fox again, for the Tampa Bay Vipers versus the New York Guardians.
No, the Guardians are who I'm voting.
The Guardians.
Remember,
both those teams have. I think those are the two teams with the most former NFL players on them. So the Vipers are projected to be pretty damn decent, and so that's gonna be a good matchup, I think.
Save the best team for last. This is my team right here coming up. Let's go.
The St. Louis Battlehawks.
Yes, sir.
And the Dallas Renegades.
I found my way back to St. Let's after the Rams left.
Battlehawks
Let's go.
Gonna take that dub and eat it all night long. And that game will start at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Oh. So how long do we think the XFL is going to last?
I think the XFL is going to last
forever.
The next 10 plus years.
3 years.
3 years. I'm giving them 3 years.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and give them 5.
Something's going to happen.
I was thinking 5.
They're going to run out of money. They're not going to pay the players. Or something's going to happen. I don't know.
Because literally, I think the saving grace for this version of the XFL is now, well, I kind of thought they did have NBC, but this time now they're getting Fox, they're getting ESPN,
ABC.
They're getting ABC. Like, they're getting a lot of good platforms, and Vince McMahon does not make a lot of mistakes the same twice. So, I don't know. I feel like I think it's just going to come down. The biggest thing they're going to have to make sure to do is play quality has to be just not flawless, but that was the issue with the first version of the XFL. Well, the first version of the XFL ended up turning into a fucking miniature wrestling show, basically.
Hey, I loved it.
I did not. And that was the issue with the AAF, because the AAF was not fun to watch. This has to be somewhat enjoyable. There has to be some offense being... Like, there just has to be just something that are making it exciting, and I think that just comes with play quality. Now, if you go into this comparing it to the NFL, you're not going to have a good time.
No.
You're not. You know what you need to do? You need to compare it to the AAF. That's what you need to do, and then it'll seem a lot better. That's what I think.
And it won't be better. Or compared to arena football or
just
something like that.
Don't compare it to the NFL. Enjoy it because this will fill the void for a few months without football, without NFL football.
So it's like the Big Three, but 10 times better, guys.
I don't know. The Big Three, that's pretty fun to watch.
Exactly.
Big
the
Three's
XFL
awesome.
will be like the Big Three.
If you want to be crazy and don't want to watch Major League Soccer, I guess you can watch the XFL. So.
Well, but yeah, the XFL's coming up, guys. This
yeah.
weekend I will have our full results.
Yeah. And I'm actually gonna watch some XFL.
I'm gonna watch XFL too.
I really hope that Reddit have some
all
illegal
games.
streams for me because I don't have cable. So, but I am about to find some illegal stream on Reddit. So,
we do not condone the illegal streaming of any.
sorry, yeah.
Unless it's this
unless
podcast.
it's I was gonna say unless it's a SighSquad
then
podcast.
get it however you can, guys.
Even if you have to hack into some Russian military.
Listen, guys,
website.
I'm doing it for our listeners because I want to make sure my XFL analysis is on point.
I respect.
I'm doing it for the listeners.
So,
Great respect.
I have like minor breaking news
Ah!
that involves
Ooh.
Super Bowl.
Ooh.
So it's realization news.
Ooh.
Shakira's outfit from the halftime show
Oh, it's the same from
is the
Zootopia.
same from Zootopia.
That's not breaking news, bro.
I thought it was gonna.
I saw that at 10:30 last night.
It was like one of the first memes I
Oh
saw
my
this morning when I
gosh.
was at
Come
work.
on. But yeah, so the XFL's kicking off.
Yeah.
But you know what? Connected to the XFL, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon just fired out of nowhere. Co-president's company.
Yeah.
Stocks dropped. I have stocks in WWE. I will give you an exact analysis of how much they dropped.
WWE.
Why wouldn't I have stocks
You know
in
what?
WWE?
That is.
Is that why you're always pushing the WWE Network for like $9.99 a month?
It's only $9.99 a month. Get your first month free. Order today, and you get Super Showdown for free. Saudi show. It's always crazy. They have the big stars. Hogan's gonna be there. It's rumored to be Sting versus The Undertaker. Guys, you can't.
Wow,
Who cares about Saudi Prince?
Wow, Vince really has you brainwashed, doesn't he?
He sure does. All right, so stocks were right. They dropped 26%.
Oh wow, that's not good.
From the day that they fired their co-presidents, and it just keeps dropping, guys.
Jeez.
So now's the time to buy WWE stock.
Yeah. The problem was Vince McMahon had no contingency plan for this. He's like, I'm focused on the XFL. They have a whatever meeting, stock meeting, whatever. Next week, I think he realized WWE's not doing so hot, guys. And so he's like, fuck it. Let's fire the guys that have been there for the past 15 years. We're supposed to take over the company when I die. Can't take it over now, motherfuckers. But with that, the road to WrestleMania is upon us. Drew McIntyre won the Royal Rumble.
Yes, very much deserved it.
He's going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
He is, and it's
Heard
going
it
to be
here
awesome.
first. It's a spoiler. And Charlotte won the Women's Royal Rumble.
I did not. Okay. I predicted it was gonna happen because they've really been pushing her the last few months. But when Shayna Baszler came at 30, I was like, no, I want her to win because I want Sioux Falls to be announced at Mania like, formally.
Oh, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like my hot take then.
She's gonna choose Shayna Baszler to fight at Mania.
No.
Oh, damn,
Shayna's
I
not champ.
love that.
Shayna's not champ right now. It's Rhea.
Oh, that's right. It's Rhea. Oh, that's right.
All right, guys.
I'm sorry.
Right, it's right. Shayna's gonna come in, right?
Okay.
Shayna's gonna be like, you know what? I challenge you for that WrestleMania match at the pay-per-view, right? Elimination Chamber, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Challenge you. Shayna's gonna get the dub. Shayna's gonna go on to defeat Becky Lynch to become the women's champion at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Wait, so with the WWE Network, do you have to pay for the network and then pay for pay-per-views?
No, that's the beautiful thing about the WWE Network, Ben. I'm glad you brought that up.
I just thought for a second it was even more of a ripoff.
It's not like ESPN Plus. It's not a ripoff. What you do is you buy the WWE Network, $9.99 a month. You get all their original content, all past anything from WWE history, WCW, anything they own. All videos of that, anytime. All current pay-per-views, all past pay-per-views, and all live pay-per-views as they happen. It's an amazing deal. But we'll get more to wrestling next week if Raw doesn't happen. We'll be there. But there are some all-star changes to the all-star game in the NBA.
Absolutely terrible. Holy crap.
Disagree. I kind of like them.
I don't.
Switching things up, making it better for the fans.
I think it's definitely interesting.
That's how I do it. It's going to be interesting.
Granted, the All-Star game doesn't mean shit, and I'm not going to watch it, but...
I'll
watch it just to see this new rule.
You got to watch it, because you got to support the podcast. We have the stuff. All right, so both NFL, NBA, All-Star Game teams will play Chicago-based community organizations as selected by LeBron, the GOAT, and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
The second place goat, you mean?
All right, so one of the teams will have number 2.
That one I do like. I do like that rule.
Or 8, one of the two. It'll be cool.
Team Giannis is gonna have number 8. Team LeBron's gonna have number 2.
Yep. Paying respect to Kobe
And GG.
And GG, it's amazing. We'll get to that in a minute here. The teams will compete to win each of the first 3 quarters, all of which will start with quarters 0-0. It'll be 12 minutes long. At the start of the 4th quarter, the game clock will be turned off. The final target score will be set. The score will be determined by taking the total leading team. So say a team has 120 points, and you'll add 24 points to that score. So if you have 120, it'll become 144. And the 24 represents Kobe's uniform number. Once the final score is set, the teams will play an untimed quarter until the final score is reached. So the winning team would need to score the 24 points added to the score of the team with the most. So say you're ahead by 10 points, you have to score that extra 10 points. The winning of each quarter will get $100,000 to the charity for a total of $300 in the first 3 quarters, and then $200,000 extra will be given to the winner.
Huh.
So I like the way they're changing it up a bit.
I think it's gonna be interesting.
I'm curious to see how it's executed.
I don't know. I feel like with both the NBA and the NFL, they're equivalent of the Pro Bowl and the AllStar game, basically equivalent of each other. It doesn't really matter anymore. And so now they're trying all these gimmicks. They're trying. They're obviously this new rule change. We saw Reese use the Pro Bowl and all the skills competition and dodgeball and stuff. I don't know.
It does make the Pro Bowl really fun to have all those skills competitions.
But it doesn't make the actual game fun. It makes watching the skills competition fun.
Yeah.
It makes the whole weekend fun.
I also think that this new NBA will give everybody more chances to play.
Well, all I know is Alex Caruso and Taco Fall are not in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't matter.
We'll get to snubs in a minute here.
Yeah.
We'll get to snubs in a minute.
I just don't.
I don't know.
Like
I like it because it's for Kobe. Like we got it. Like you gotta do it for Kobe. And I mean, I'll watch it now. Like I wasn't gonna watch it before, but now I'll watch it just to see because they're gonna do a cool tribute.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome to see him wear 8 and 2. It's
See,
it draws a little bit of interest in it.
See, I like those, but like.
Did you watch that?
The
tribute? The tribute. The first Lakers game? Oh my god,
It was sad.
Oof. But yeah.
Man tears.
But my thing is
Right.
because here's the thing is Kobe would be pissed with this whole single quarter thing. Kobe was the type of person he'd be like, "Fuck you guys, play 48 minutes of real basketball. Don't do All-Star game bullshit where the score's 186 to 195."
No, and I get that, but
Like,
it's just
I don't know. I just don't like this.
right, and I get it because it's like, oh, this is not what Kobe would have wanted, and I get that. It's just I don't know.
Like
it's tough because you gotta give you gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah.
And they just want some tribute to Kobe in some way. They maybe could have done it a different way. Like I don't really know, but
I mean, it's like Ben said, the All-Star game isn't even anything, anyways.
Right. It's
just dumb.
I know.
Yeah.
Sad days.
All right, so let's get to our NBA All-Star team. So we got Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. Players available for the draft, which is coming up on the 6th here, so this Thursday. Be Anthony Davis, James Harden, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, and Trae Young.
Those are the starters.
Our reserves this year will be Bam Adebayo, Brandon Ingram, love to see that.
Yes.
Chris Paul, Rudy Gobert, dropping Dame Lillard, love to see that. Playing on fire, we'll get to that. Donovan Mitchell, like to see that. Nikola Jokic, Ben Simmons, who is seen sunbathing, shirtless with Kendall Jenner as of breaking news by TMZ about an hour ago.
Ooh,
so he's going to be playing good in that game. Or bad. What happens when you date Kardashians?
Yeah, it goes downhill.
It goes downhill. Ben
Pretty
Simmons'
quick.
career is over.
Ask Lamar Odom and Chris Humphries.
We got Jason Tatum coming in there. I kind of like to see that. Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, Russell Westbrook, and Domantas Sabonis.
Oh yeah,
Westbrook.
All right. So who do you think the biggest snub here is,
Devin
guys?
Booker.
Devin Booker.
D-Book, yeah.
Devin Booker should have made it over Russell
I agree.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
Devin,
A lot of people.
half the
should have
NBA
Russell
should have made it in before Russell Westbrook.
I mean, Russell Westbrook's putting up good numbers, but I just think Devin Booker should made it.
So I put 4 people down that I think should have made this list that aren't on there.
I feel like I know one of your persons, and I have an argument for it.
I got Devin Booker. He's averaged 27.1 points per game, and it's 36.8%
Agreed.
from the deep.
Zach LaVine's another one I think is snubbed.
Bradley
he could have made it
Beal.
over Ben Simmons.
That is my pick.
Bradley Beal, 28.6 points, career high, 6.3 assists per game. He's going out. Paul George, averaging 23.5 points, 6 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and he's playing good defense. He's 39.5% from the 3. Oh, man. And then you got Ja Morant. He's been balling out as a rookie, and I think he deserved to have a spot at least on the reserve.
Okay, real talk though, biggest snubs is Taco Fall. And
Yeah, exactly. And my boy, Alex Caruso. Brendan, I'm glad you mentioned that because those are the true snubs of the All-Star
Because,
game.
like, so
Because you mean to tell me... Oh, that's your other thing, too. Do you try looking me in the eye and telling me you would not watch the All-Star game if you knew Taco Fall and Alex Caruso were in that game?
I wouldn't watch it either way.
No, you would watch. You would. So, yes, you would.
You'd watch the
That is a-
highlights.
No, I'd see it on Twitter and
No.
be like, oh, Taco Falls is going to get it. I think the only way I'd watch the All-Star game, Taco Falls gets to cherry pick the whole game
And he
just stand
might.
under the basket.
But you have to watch to find out.
No.
But in all reality, Bradley Beal, in my opinion, is the biggest snub.
I think D-Book. Or Zach LaVine in the East. I think Zach LaVine should have made it over Ben Simmons personally.
Yes, I think Ben Simmons shouldn't be there. I think that Russell Westbrook shouldn't be there.
Oh yeah, Ben Simmons is another one.
I have no issue with Paul George not making it just because load management and he was injured for the first part of the year.
Can rookies make the All-Star team?
Yeah, they can. I have no issue with Ja just because he is a rookie, but I do think he's the most deserving rookie.
Well, because isn't he going to be in the Rising Stars?
Yeah, he's going to be the rising star.
So is
so
Zion.
Trae
Did
Young.
you see that?
Because Zion should be. Zion's a beast.
Well, Trae
5
Young.
games.
Rising Star.
Trey Young
I
is a
love it.
starter in the All-Star game and is also a starter in the Rising Star game.
That's another thing. We should talk about freaking Zion's debut.
Oh,
Holy
we're getting to
crap.
that.
Led the league 3-point percentage for a hot
We're
minute.
getting to that. But yeah, so NBA All-Star Weekend's coming up here in Chicago. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to watch it.
I'm glad nobody argued.
No, I don't think
Oh,
Cat
yeah.
deserves it.
A
Cat
lot
should
of
have gone
people
to
were
All-Star.
pissed on Twitter that he got snubbed.
I saw that.
Cat
Also,
should be not
the
an
team
All-Star.
was doing better without Cat than they were with Cat.
Well,
Cat-
We'll get to that in a minute.
and the team
as
is just
well.
bad, period. So, I
He
mean...
Yeah.
has not won a game since November 30th.
November 27th.
What?
is that right?
Oh.
But yeah.
Cat has not won a game in over 2 months. Granted, he missed time, so that...
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he
But-
is not... Oh, my God.
He hasn't won in 2020.
The deals are so bad.
But, let's have a little debate here. We'll throw about... how long you want to give
a
this?
minute and a half.
We'll throw
About
10
minutes.
minutes on the clock total.
10 minutes?
Yep, we'll throw 10 minutes on the clock. We'll have a real discussion about this.
About what?
All right.
The debate...
Who is the best player in NFL history to never win a Super Bowl?
Oh, pff. Easy.
All right.
Is it, though? When you look at it, some of the guys...
Yeah.
So, I'll start off.
Brendan, did you hear that?
I did. I knew
The
second
clock
was going up.
is started. The player that I think is most enduring, Tony Gonzalez, was literally the beast and is the GOAT of tight ends.
I agree.
Go.
I was between this. I want to see Larry Fitzgerald with a ring, but I think the best player to never win one was Randy Moss. Because I think if Randy Moss was to get a ring, we would look at him like at that next level of Jerry Rice. Like,
Right.
we still look at Jerry Rice as the unanimous greatest receiver to ever live, and he is undoubtedly, like, he deserves it. But you know, like, Randy Moss gets a ring or two. Like, you start getting that consideration, like, Randy Moss, obviously the most dominant receiver to ever play. Like, nobody's ever gonna be able to do what Randy Moss did. So you give him a ring or two, and it changes, the way his career goes. So I think Randy Moss is the best player, but I would love to see Larry Fitzgerald get a ring.
So I want to talk a little about Dan Marino. So Dan Marino, what?
I was gonna say you go with your Dan Marino. I'm gonna make an argument for someone else. But I'll support you, Dan Marino, though.
So Dan Marino played 83 to 2000. He was the first quarterback to ever throw 5,000 passing yards in a season. And in that same year, he threw 48 touchdown passes. So he had 5,000 yards and 48 touchdown passes. Didn't win a Super Bowl. Played all these years. During that time, he only had 1 year in his nearly 20 years where he had a 1,000-yard rusher. It was in 1996 where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had 1,100 yards. That was the only 1,000-yard rusher.
Wait, what?
No, yeah, he's right. I know there's a running back named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Really?
No.
Yeah, it's so funny. I looked that up before. Yeah, there's a running back named Kareem, spelled the same way.
Yeah.
Kareem
That's
Abdul-Jabbar.
He was the only 1,000-yard rusher in Dan Marino's entire career. And the only Super Bowl Dan Marino got to, he was harassed. He threw for 318 yards, but was intercepted twice and sacked 5 times in a blowout loss.
Didn't he go 16-0 1 year too?
No.
No, he wasn't a part of that.
That was a different Dolphins.
time ago.
Because that Dolphins team actually won.
Okay.
But that was also before the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
When?
The Dolphins' perfect season?
No, that was during the Super Bowl era, but that was when it was a shorter season. It was a 1 game less season. But Dan Marino, if Dan Marino would have won a ring or two, he definitely could have been considered one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
1 year, he already is, even without a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
And I think that's what separated him from being in the GOAT conversation, because Dan Marino was doing what Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers were doing before that was a thing.
Yeah.
You know, never really had great teams around him, but they were good because of Dan Marino and has all these passing records. You know, before Drew Brees came around, Dan Marino had all the passing records. But I'm looking at this, and there's a couple guys I want to say. So, Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Because he was literally everything. He is literally probably the only running back in NFL history, maybe other than Adrian Peterson in 2012, but he's been the only player that I've ever been known about that has led a team just as a running back. You just don't see that.
Yeah.
They even won playoff games just because of Barry Sanders. Because I think he's the GOAT for running backs. I think that's kind of partially just the reason, you know. Literally the only reason he's not up there in stats is just because he retired early.
I mean, even with his stat numbers, he ran for 1,000 yards in each of his seasons. He was the third running back to ever hit 2,000 yards.
Exactly.
And after 10 seasons, he was only 1,400 yards away from Walter Payton's all-time.
Well, right, which is now owned by Emmitt Smith, of course.
Yeah.
But still, you said he still almost broke that record. But I'm gonna tackle another guy that no one really ever considers. No one's ever really considered him to be in the GOAT conversation. But his legacy would have been a lot different had he won those Super Bowls. Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Because Jim Kelly was a gunslinger of gunslingers. He was playing California-style football in Buffalo, New York. He was just so good. And had he even won 2 of those Super Bowls,
Let alone 4.
4 Super Bowls,
imagine winning
his
4.
legacy would have been so much different. Just so much different. So that's just another guy I wanted to throw out there. Shout out to my guy Eric Dickerson, though. Being a Rams fan, he's awesome.
Bruce Smith's another one, all-time sack leader.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay. I'll let you talk about him.
The guy I think is probably one of the bigger ones is Bruce Smith, because he's all-time sack leader with 200 sacks. So far that has been untouchable.
Yeah, because second is Reggie White with 198.
Yeah, and the closest we had as an active was Julius Peppers in
150 something.
Yeah, which was 6th, I think.
6th or 7th, I think.
Yeah. So that's insane. 200 sacks in a season or in a career.
Did Donald have?
Probably 98 or something.
Interesting.
Here's a fun fact about Bruce Smith. So defensive ends we don't necessarily associate with getting a lot of tackles. I mean, to compare Chandler Jones had...
He has 72.
Chandler Jones had 50 or 60 tackles this year. Bruce Smith had over 100 tackles twice in his career as a defensive end.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's insane.
That's linebacker numbers.
Yeah, from
That's
a defensive
crazy.
end.
And the only reason why defensive ends aren't usually credited with tackles is because they're always getting blocked by somebody. But Bruce Smith just destroyed lines. It's what it is. A Again,
another great player from that Bills team. Because there's a lot of good. Because you could even say who wide receiver for that team too. He's a Hall of Famer.
I can know who you're talking about.
Reed, right?
Yeah, Andre Reed.
Andre Reed. Yep. Obviously he's another player that you could talk about in that consideration. Like basically just any Hall of Famer on that Buffalo Bills team, you could just put in that consideration. Like I said, even if they win even 2 of those Super Bowls,
Right.
like Ethan said, let alone 4, we look at
I'd
that.
give them 1. It's a lot different.
Hey, hell, give them 1.
Yeah.
They're literally a missed kick away from winning 1 Super Bowl.
You put him at 4. Let's say Jim Kelly did lead them to 4 Super Bowls. He's already up there with Joe Montana. Like he would, been tied with Joe Montana.
Yeah.
On Super Bowl rings.
That's what I'm saying. And then Brady would have when he beat Atlanta, would have broke Joe Montana and Jim Kelly's Super Bowl
exactly.
record. Like, it just would have been so much different.
Yeah, if Jim Kelly would have won those Super Bowls, Tom Brady would even more be considered the greatest quarterback of all time.
Right.
Some other names. I think of guys. Antonio Gates is another one. Sad
Antonio. Sad that he retired just recently. Shout out to Antonio Gates, one of the best tight ends.
Warren Moon. He was another.
Randall Cunningham.
Considered like
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Tomlinson,
LT.
definitely.
Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
He was
never made the playoffs.
So loyal to that Browns team.
That's right.
He never even got close.
I agree.
I think so.
Pat McAfee on the Colts when they won the Super Bowl.
We briefly talked about Larry Fitzgerald. I feel like Larry Fitzgerald is like the greatest person
that's
that
what
plays
I was
in
saying.
the NFL.
If out of anybody I would want to see win a Super Bowl, it would be Larry Fitzgerald.
Because Larry Fitzgerald winning a Super Bowl would be like, oh my god, I really have to credit my team. Like, this was all my team. The other team was so awesome. Like, they're just as deserving. Like, if I can cut this Super Bowl
if Larry
trophy in half
Fitzgerald
and share it
even like hoist the Lombardi Trophy, I will cry man tears.
We got Andy Reid's got his Super Bowl. Larry Fitzgerald's next on.
Like, I'm sorry, Arizona, but please, if you're not going to do it this year, please trade Larry. Like, even if he doesn't want it, please trade Larry.
Plus, the lucky thing goes at this point, like, I almost want to see him only do it on the Cardinals. Like,
oh, but he's not going to unless Kyler Murray, which he can. Kyler Murray's a beast. But, like, unless Kyler Murray, like, turns into Lamar, like, does what Lamar Jackson does, puts him in MVP year or, like, whatever, it's not going to happen.
Well, there is another thing. If they can get the right draft picks this next year and just fix a couple holes that they have, get some depth.
Man, I really hope. That's why they should have beat the freaking Steelers.
Another more infamous person that never won a Super Bowl is O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson did never win a Super Bowl.
And he was considered
one of the
first, greatest running backs.
He's one of the best running backs of all time. I mean, you can't deny that fact. That is rough.
He really killed the linebackers back then.
Killed the competition.
Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan, at the end of his career, could go down as one of the best quarterbacks to never win a Super Bowl.
No.
I think at the end of his career, because I think if he plays...
Because Matt Ryan is actually getting up there in a lot of passing numbers. Like, because he's already, like, top 10 in career QBR. He's top 10 in, I believe, touchdowns.
My only thing with Matt Ryan is he's way too inconsistent, especially if we're going to compare him to, like, Dan Marino and Jim Kelly.
Well, yeah, because he never won a Super Bowl. It's a small category to choose from. But, like, honestly, like, realistically, Matt Ryan has only had, like, what, 2 bad years? Like, 2-3 bad years? One of them being this year. He
actually just cracked top 10 this year for yards, too.
Oh, in yards. See, because I wanted to say that, but I didn't know if it was for sure.
Yeah, he's 10 right now. Well, even, like, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has never won a ring either.
True.
I'm looking at a list of some, like, ones. This is a Fox Sports list. It seems like there's a lot of, like, defensive players that, like, there seems to be a lot more defensive players than offensive players. Like, Deacon Jones and Kevin Green's on this list, and Junior Seau, and there's another really big one, too. Derek Thomas, Champ Bailey, all these people, great defensive players. It's a lot easier for a good quarterback to lead your team to Super Bowl than, like, a good defensive end, you know?
Well, look at, like, the Purple Peep leaders. Like, all those Hall of Fame Vikings players from the 60s and 70s, like, teams, none of those guys got a ring, ever.
Yeah, Bud Grant's now he was before, but yeah, Bud Grant's considered probably the best coach to ever win a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. I mean, even Fran Tarkenton, you know, he was one of the first, if not the first mobile quarterback to ever win.
Time to wake up.
Okay.
That's my own. But yeah, That was a great conversation.
Technically, Larry Fitzgerald could get taken off this list if he plays a couple
really hope he does. Like, guys, I was so pissed when the Cardinals didn't win the Super Bowl that year against Pittsburgh. I was so pissed.
Yo, hear me out. The NFL goes into.
I thought about Terrell Owens.
The NFL goes into a lockout this year, right?
Okay.
But the Cardinals and the bottom 10 teams all still play, so that way the Cardinals just get a easy dub, so Larry can get a ring.
You know, it would be interesting to see if there was 4 teams that didn't hold out, what they do.
Very true.
They just go 7 weeks in a row.
Man, if you got teams that have never, just a couple of the teams that never won a Super Bowl, right? The Vikings. Who else is in there?
Detroit jumps in we'll play.
Just throw them in there. Just boop boop. Get 2 AFC, 2 NFC.
Cleveland, Arizona, Detroit, Minnesota.
2 and a 14 team goes to the Super Bowl.
There you go. I like it.
Because they jumped in.
Damn.
Ready to jump into some hockey?
Oh, horses.
Ooh,
jeez. Gritty was officially cleared of any misconduct.
Congrats. Awesome. Love that. That is the news I needed to hear in February.
Congratulations, Gritty. Your pop figure is still standing in my household.
Yeah, we got the torchlighters ready in case we had to melt him.
Yes. All right, so let's start off with the Pacific here. So the Canucks are looking hot.
Yep.
5-game winning streak, 7 of their last 10.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, no, they've made the same differential as St. Louis has right now at the top of 18 games above, or points, I should say. Or no, it was games. Sorry.
The Oilers. That's pretty hot. 7 of their last 10 as well.
Mm-hmm. The Blackhawks are only.
Blackhawks are in the Central.
Oh! I forgot we wanted to talk about the Pacific. Yeah. Sorry, I was just Western Conference the whole.
Pacific.
Not anything after that.
The Kings are hella struggling, man.
Well, San Jose, Anaheim, and the Kings.
The Coyotes too.
Well, the Coyotes still have the wild card spot.
Right, but they're struggling.
Yeah, they just lost last night to the Blackhawks.
Yeah, which we're getting to now.
So, in the Central Division, St. Louis obviously way at the top. They're 8 points ahead of Colorado. Colorado's been on a little bit of a tear recently. They're tied currently in points with the Dallas Stars. And then you also have the likes of Calgary, who have kind of killed it. But then the Blackhawks, who, if they continue their trend now, they might be able to actually kick out the Coyotes.
Don't get too excited yet.
The Coyotes kind of bought their team, though. They picked up so many free agents in the offseason, and then also with that trade from the Devils that they had. I think that Arizona could hold on. I almost wonder if Calgary can hold on, because Calgary's seen some bits of low spots, but Matthew Tkachuk is killing it.
Calgary's been good over the last 10.
The last 10, Calgary's been good, but I'm just saying, in the season, they've had their dips. But Chicago's one of those weird teams where if they were to make it into the playoffs as a wild card, with what we've seen from the latter half of the season, I could see them actually being competitive. Granted, I'm gonna call my bias there. That's big bias, but just with what they've done against certain teams in certain games.
What about the Jets, who are a game behind them?
The Jets have been on such a decline recently. I feel like if they were to somehow crawl up.
Jets.
It looks like the rest of the Central, besides the Blackhawks, are kind of just doing meh. Nobody's standing out as recently here as being on fire.
And the worst part is the rest of the Central actually is close in points to the Blackhawks if you take out the top 3.
Right.
Because the Blackhawks started off so poorly. It was just really bad. We actually called up a few people from the Ice Hogs, which is the AHL team, and that seemed to make the difference, is having a young chemistry with obviously the likes of Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane.
Oh, Jonathan Thomas.
But it'll be an interesting narrative to see if the team of this last decade, aka the Blackhawks, can make a push to make a mark in this next decade when it didn't seem like the team was going to have much going for them.
Ooh.
But in the Eastern Conference, Boston killing it, cup favorite, just cup favorite. Tampa Bay has turned their season back around. They're now sitting at second, and their points totals, here's something for you, Ben. The points that they have on the season is 69.
Nice.
Toronto,
Nice.
Austin Matthews is a beast, killing it, and this is the Atlantic Division.
Yep, the Redskins might as
Toronto.
well just quit now.
Wait, no, how are my Golden Knights doing?
They're not doing too great.
We talked about them earlier. They've been struggling, but they made it from wild card to third in the Pacific.
Oh, nice.
Good
So-
stuff.
Yeah,
Good for them.
the
How
Metro.
is the my Seattle team doing?
They're not coming until
Getting
not
started.
next year, but the year after.
They're actually undefeated.
Hey, the
Hell
Penguins
yeah.
are looking un fuego.
Penguins are looking good.
Blue Jackets.
How about the Wild?
Wild
I was
are-
just gonna say,
they're
how the Wild
doing
doing?
okay. They're not doing bad.
Well, they were doing really good for a while. I know. And
They
then
had
started
they had that 11-game winning streak,
Okay.
and then they had like a 6-game losing streak and a 5-game losing streak.
The Wild were on an 11-game winning streak.
Yeah,
When did this happen?
Like a
earlier
month
in
and
the
a half ago.
season.
The Wild are the last team in the Central.
Yep.
Oh, I really haven't been watching any hockey this year.
But also with the Atlantic, the Islanders have kind of dropped a little bit. But with that, I mean, that's part of the reason why Toronto's moved up.
Right.
I'm trying to think. Oh no, they're in
Unless you keep thinking.
but no, Washington looking really good. Obviously, Ovechkin is now moved. He went to 8th, he went to 9th, and then he went to 8th now, top in goals. If he continues to tear, he could find himself at 7th. He has to average a few goals a game, but he can technically end in 7th with this season, and
Nice.
it wouldn't be...
Is he going to retire after this year?
No.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
No. Ovechkin still has a couple of years. Hockey players play till like 45.
Oh, okay.
It's
I know.
really weird how physical the sport is, but how
Long
lengthy.
they playing.
Like
Well,
Teemu
Yager.
Solani,
Yeah, that guy.
Yager almost like played till 40. I don't want to say,
He was an old dude.
but
old.
he's third in goals scored.
Yeah.
Like it goes Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr. But the playoff picture is interesting. I want to flip back to the Pacific for a hot second.
Turn the page back.
San Jose
Reverse.
won't do anything in the playoffs this year, which is
Who?
surprising. San Jose Sharks.
Baby Shark.
They're not that good this year.
What about
No.
Robert Burns?
Baby Shark.
I'm trying to think of the player that he's done okay, but he wasn't doing as good as Thomas Hurdle.
Oh.
And Thomas Hurdle just got hurdled.
Just got hurt.
How about Jake Fingers?
Is he a person?
No, he's not.
Cool.
He's not Blackhawks. He's like a captain or something, isn't he?
No,
Jake
Ben's
Fingers.
just making a joke about Jonathan Taze.
Well,
and I was
which-
like,
Oh,
it looks
it's
like
Jonathan Fingers. I'm
Which
sorry.
player
That's
do you,
my bad,
which
guys.
team do you think has the best trajectory going forward?
Boston.
Boston.
David Pasternak's unstoppable.
Didn't they win the cup?
No, they went to the cup last
They
year.
went to the cup. They lost to
Brendan, who do you think serves the biggest? So clear. I'm guessing you think Boston's the cup favorite right now.
Boston is the cup favorite.
Which team do you think has the best chance to dethrone them, to challenge them for that Stanley Cup?
Best
question.
chance to dethrone. Obviously, you cannot beat out Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. Like
Capitals.
it's Alex Ovechkin. He's going to be like he's probably the best player of this last decade.
Probably.
If Connor McDavid wasn't around, he'd be the best player of this next decade. But Connor McJesus is a thing.
Yes.
Part of the reason why the Oilers are doing good. Going back to that, but Why do we keep going back to the Pacific Division? Why is that the most interesting division in hockey right now? When three of the six teams
Going to it.
Three of the 7 teams are absolute
Crazy.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways,
Top heavy is what it is.
oh jeez.
Oh jeez.
Do you remember when Buffalo started out the season
Sabres?
undefeated?
Is that who
Yeah.
they are? The Sabres?
Yeah, they were
They were
Ooh, I'm
4-0.
good.
They went
Then they played the
6
Patriots.
The
and
Wild
0.
Wings?
6-0.
Wings?
Yeah, then they played the Patriots and lost.
Beer
They didn't play the
Sports.
Patriots.
So
Sports.
Buffalo Bills went undefeated and
Buffalo
played the Patriots and
Sabres.
lost.
Because he does the commercials for him.
Yeah.
How are the Sabres doing? Not good.
Oh.
Ooh, that
I was
doesn't
saying, were
sound
they doing
good.
kind of hot for a while there?
Yeah, they were number 2 in their division for
Where
a
they
long
at now?
time. They're at number 7 in the Eastern
Their torch was
Conference.
snuffed.
Or sorry, not in the Eastern
They
Conference.
tapped.
13th in the Eastern Conference.
They
How many
made a
teams are in
left
the
turn
East?
and a right turn race.
Well, it's the top 8 that make the
No, but how many teams are in the East?
16.
Wow. How many points do they have?
12.
More than 12. They have
13.
53.
They have
14.
how many?
53.
Oh, they said 30.
15.
I think they said 33. I'm like, Jesus, who's worse than them?
Well, Detroit has 28.
The Red
Oh!
Wings. The Red Wings are struggling
Oh my God!
greatly.
You mean the Detroit Red? I knew they were bad, but they're that bad?
Aren't they always bad?
And that's
No, Detroit's like.
Detroit was one of the best franchises in hockey.
and like a lot of people thought that Tyler Bertuzzi would be uplifting them and getting them some few
Tyler.
games. And right now he is one of the biggest talks of being traded because Detroit is just a hot mess.
Is he ass cheeks?
Tyler Bertuzzi's good.
Okay.
It's just
Bertuzzi's actually?
Detroit has nothing.
Do you,
Don't they have
do
that-
you think they'll fire Matt Patricia then?
Great
Don't
question.
they? Who's that Larkin guy that plays for them?
Oni Larkin?
Um,
WWE superstar?
Tony Hawk?
Pro skater?
I know who you're talking about.
It's not Shane Larkin, is it?
Lindsey
Because
Vonn.
he plays for he used to play for the Celtics.
That's right.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Really? She plays hockey?
Oh,
Doesn't
you know,
surprise me.
Ethan, I'm gonna go back to how St. Louis is doing.
Okay.
St. Louis is doing so good. Or sorry, not St. Louis, Seattle.
Okay.
Different ass league.
We forgot to talk about that.
They're doing so good that they have their own spot on the NHL app.
Woo!
Damn.
That's my team. The Krakens.
Krakens.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
don't like that?
No, I hate it.
I think
hate
that's
it.
super
No.
cool. Well, like, did you not see what the jerseys look like?
No, I didn't.
See, like,
Yes.
I also hated the name the Golden Knights when I first heard it.
But now you love it.
now I vibe
I
it.
Yeah.
still just don't.
I feel like
I'm-
that's the same thing that's going to happen with the Kraken.
Well, but here's the thing though, is because you know,
Your
Ev-
Seattle Kraken. Like, that's
you know-
badass. Like,
Well, literally, the opening thing could be "Release the Kraken."
That's
so, okay, see, that would be badass. If
No.
I would, okay.
that's gonna get old after 10 years of hearing that every single
No, it's
game.
not. If you're
Yeah,
sitting
it
there
is.
at the.
Release the Kraken.
Ethan,
And they're gonna
Ethan?
suck cheeks for like
Ethan?
8 years.
Ethan,
No.
Do Vikings fans complain about yelling "skull" every 10
Skull!
seconds?
Skull!
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 Skull.
Do you know what skull means? What does skull mean?
Skull it's actually a war chant.
Is it?
Yeah, from Vikings.
Never would have guessed.
No. Fun. Okay, totally out topic. But here's a fun thing about Minnesota. So another kind of weird chance. You know how the Gophers do Sky Yuma?
Yeah.
Rah rah for the Sky Yuma.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to take a guess what Sky Yuma means?
I saw it a while ago. I can't remember what it meant.
No. Here's the thing. Does anybody have a guess of what Sky Yuma means? Because I'm gonna tell you the story and you're gonna just love it.
I have not.
No idea.
Okay. So back, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember what happened to the whole story, but I just know. So some guy, I think he was like one of the founders or one of the presidents of the University of Minnesota when it first started, like so a long time ago.
Yeah.
He did what he liked to do. He likes to go like floating down the river or whatever. He saw these two Native American boys. They were playing like some game or whatever, and he thought he heard them yelling "Sky Yuma," like "Sky Yuma" or whatever. And it turns out that is not even a thing. The Gophers chant is literally gibberish. Sky Yuma is not a relevant. Like Sky Yuma is literally just nothing. It's just gibberish, and I just hate that so much. But
Nice.
Yeah.
I just find it funny because it's just like, oh, because he thought it was like a war cry or something, and it just turns out it's nothing.
Yeah, I don't like the Kraken's name.
Anything else going on in the NHL we need to
We need to really make sure we keep an eye on the number of goals that Mr. Ovechkin scored.
Keep your eye on Alex Ovechkin.
Because right now he's at the bottom of the 700 club is what it's considered because of the goals. But
are we at the top of the 0-100 club?
Well,
how close is he to Gretzky?
Well, if he's at like 700, right? Like roughly. Gretzky's at 893.
That's pretty damn shuffle.
I'm at 769, so I'm pretty close.
Oh, nice.
Where are you at 769?
Right, so keep an eye on Alex Ovechkin. That's what we're taking out of this.
Did you know you can take away Wayne Gretzky's goals?
The other players right?
NHL's all-time points leader. It actually.
The best part is you can't even skate, Ben.
You don't need to.
What? Okay then.
My guy.
Well, next we got the NBA, so the trade deadline's coming up. Nothing really has happened that right now. Expect things to happen later in the week. You can find all the breaking news on the SighSquad Podcast at SighSquadPod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and anywhere else you find your SighSquad Podcast news.
Okay, I need to apologize again, even though I already apologized once about Damian Lillard.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Dame 316 accept your apology.
Oh, does he? Here's the thing,
I
swear.
I have a hot take.
I promise that I don't just try talking bullshit that's made up. I don't do like Alex Smith, Stephen A. Smith stuff where I just grin. I genuinely had that opinion about Damian Lillard. He 100% proved me wrong. That motherfucker is doing something that hasn't been seen since Wilt fucking Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain.
Did you change your opinion?
That is
crazy.
Okay.
I have a hot take.
Okay.
Damian Lillard is the MVP of the league.
100%.
I'm not.
As of right now,
I'm not against that.
He's the MVP of the league because he puts the V in valuable. Portland is a 9 seed right now, and they wouldn't even be in that contention if it wasn't for Damian Lillard.
Yes.
Damian Lillard's on a scoring streak that we haven't seen in years upon years of this league.
Even his efficiency too.
That's what I mean. Because you can be like James Harden, scores 50-some points, but shoot how many free throws and shoot less than 30%. And James Harden has had a terrible month, by the way.
Yes.
Damian Lillard has always been consistent. He's one of the league leaders in shooting right now.
Yes.
Yeah, his defensive numbers aren't great, but you know what? Does anybody really care about that for the MVP award?
No!
Absolutely not. If Portland makes the playoffs, Damian Lillard is the MVP.
He would be like the Derrick Rose situation when Derrick Rose won it. How he is literally just the most valuable player to his team.
Right, but that was it. But Chicago was a good team though at the time that he won.
Yeah, but weren't they the 3rd seed that year?
No, they were the 1 seed.
Oh, they were the 1 seed.
Yeah,
we're sitting here talking about basketball.
Guess who beat him in the playoffs?
They're sports related.
Get your head in the
Would
game.
probably be Portland.
But
No,
one of them
just
was hockey related.
Are we talking about with the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just take a guess who beat Derrick Rose and the Bulls that year. They were the year Derrick Rose won MVP. Just take a guess.
Was it the Miami Heat LeBron?
LeBron James.
Yeah,
just
LeBron James Heat.
Okay, yeah, just put it. Throw it out there. Whatever. Just
Who is
I don't
that?
want to talk about it.
The GOAT
That was the first
The
NBA Finals I watched.
Tom Brady?
for football, yeah.
Oh, okay. I understand. But yeah, the NBA is looking nice. Zion fucking Williamson.
Yeah, he's good. He's really, really good.
Yeah, he showed why he's the number 1 overall pick,
Yep.
even though he was hurt.
Yeah, he honestly, he could be on pace to win Rookie of the Year if he keeps it up.
Yeah,
over
somehow.
Ja.
Yeah, actually.
Ja could have one bad month, and he's not the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. It's not fair, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I'm watching this game, and I'm like, damn, Zion ain't doing shit right now. And then I'm like watching it, Zion makes the 3, I'm like,
Oh, nice, yeah.
all right, cool, whatever. So, makes another one.
You talking about his first game? Yeah.
And then he, gets the, it wasn't like a dumb, but he got the lob layup, and I'm just like, okay. Gets it, yeah. And then he makes the 4th one in freaking contested, and I was just like, no freaking way. And then they sat him with 5 minutes left. Alvin Gentry, I understand you have him in a minute slate, like, I get it. But when you read the situation in the room, you could have won that game had you kept Zion in. If you would have sat him for like 2 minutes, totally fine. I get it. But like Zion said, like I was ready. Like adrenaline was pumping in him. Keep him in the game.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. They did something you're not supposed to do in basketball. You never applaud a hot player.
Never, ever,
because
ever.
It messes with them so much.
Well, here's what I've noticed, right? So I've watched every single Pelicans game since Zion started playing.
Yeah.
Shocker.
See, I have not, so you probably know more than I do on Zion.
Zion goes into the game, right? Zion's been starting. He's been playing more and more and more. Zion goes in the game. He gets them. It's within 3-point game. They just did it against the Rockets on Sunday. Within 3 points, they got ahead of the Rockets. Zion gets pulled out of the game. They go down by 20 points.
Zion elevates his team. Like, he elevates. Like, Lonzo
Zoe
plays
looks-
a lot better.
Zoe
when
plays
Zion
bad
plays.
when Zion's not there.
Yeah.
Zion goes in, that's a connection
Yeah.
Yeah, Pelicans
2K
are gonna be
orange juice.
Pelicans are about to be dangerous next year.
Yeah.
They get another good draft pick.
Oh, yeah.
Pelicans about to be something
If
else.
they can get a good center, like a good big next to Zion, that team's going to be scary. They should trade for Mo Bamba.
Hey. And then
No
Brandon
problem.
But then
Ingram,
they have
he's playing at a high level too.
Who is?
Brandon Ingram.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
Brandon
fire.
Ingram's, Brandon Ingram's a beast. And then you get maybe another like shooter on that team, another
Yeah.
3-point shooter.
Right.
Just
All
trade
to
for
think-
Steph Curry.
Somehow LeBron traded Brandon Ingram and Lonzo and kept Kuzma.
At the time, it was.
I
the
almost
right
think the
decision.
Pelicans, they got the better
I
deal
said
there,
it.
I think.
I said the Pelicans robbed the fuck out of the
Oh,
Lakers
yeah.
on that trade.
If you're looking at
Especially
how...
if Anthony Davis leaves
All right,
or
yeah.
they don't get a ring out.
Right, so who is it? It's Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and Zoe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those three players, you can just take two of the three. Doesn't matter which two. They're doing just what Anthony Davis has done. If you take two of the three. So, I mean, I'd say they won it.
Right. No, I will still believe that the Lakers will, because in the end, the Lakers will end up the one with the chip, and yeah.
Oh.
But if they don't,
If they only get one ring from
Yes.
this, and let's say
Oh no,
the
no.
Pelicans.
Oh no, I'm just saying like because I think AD's gonna stay. So that's just my thing because they're gonna win a championship
I
this
think
year. And
he's
he's gonna
gonna-
stay.
I
So
think
this
he'll
is
stay.
this is just the start of what could be a couple titles. I'm just saying when you win a championship, to me you win the trade. That's how I do it. To me, if you get the superstar or you get the ring, that's like obviously the Raptors won at everything last year. But like the Kawhi trade doesn't matter what happened because who won the championship? The Raptors.
The
I just
Raptors
believe
could win it
ever since
again,
Kevin Durant
actually.
is-
And who are the Pelicans going to get? Like, Pelicans get Brandon Ingram an all-star, but they continue to flop every year in the playoffs. It's not going to matter.
I mean, but give it a couple years. They could
Yeah,
win a
that's what I'm saying.
championship.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
championship.
Yeah, but the Lakers win are going to win the trade because it fits to what they're trying to do. Win now. They're in a win now mode, and that's what they're trying to do. So if they even get one, let's say this thing lasts 3 years and they get 1 or 2 championships, they win that trade.
See, but the
At
reason
what
why-
point does this become an even trade, though?
Maybe it doesn't because
No,
the
I'm just
Pelicans are
saying,
looking
what-
because both teams are looking at 2 different perspectives. The Pelicans are looking for the future. The Lakers are going for now. So the way I can view it being even is if the Pelicans keep with their system, keep all their young players, which I don't think they're going to be able to do. That's the thing. Who even says Brandon Ingram's going to want to stay? Brandon Ingram's going to want some fat money. Then let's say they choose Brandon Ingram over Zion or vice versa. They're going to have to pick and choose.
See, but the reason that I feel they lost this trade is given that they did keep Kuzma over guys like Brandon
So they got
Ingram and
80.
Lonzo Ball.
They got the 4th best player in the NBA in the world.
Yeah, which is fair, but you could have still gotten Anthony Davis with how high because at the time Kyle Kuzma obviously was looked at as like that third piece.
Yeah.
That's what he was. But obviously it shows like it's not necessarily Brandon Ingram's fault wasn't the fact that he was bad. He showed he's a good player. You know, look at the trade value of Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram now.
Yeah.
Their trade value is way more now than what the Lakers got. So let's say Brandon Ingram wants to leave.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the trade that was happening then. That just happens when the Pelicans may do in the future.
Yeah, but in terms of
So to me, that doesn't really matter.
but
If I'm the Pelicans, though, I think I keep that connection between Ingram and
Yeah, no, like
Zion
if the
is
Pelicans win,
something special.
if the Pelicans win a championship in 5 years, then that's an even trade for both teams because the Pelicans are in the position to win later.
Right.
The Lakers are in to win now.
so if the Lakers don't win, let's say hypothetically the Lakers, let's say they don't win a championship, is that a loss for the Lakers?
Or say they don't win it this year.
If they don't win it this year for Kobe, that's just a loss in itself. And forget who's playing. If the Lakers don't win it, period, this year, that's gonna suck. But let's say the Lakers don't win a championship. It's all going to matter what the Pelicans are going to do. Because the Pelicans can sit there and be playoff failures every single year. And then Zion's going to want to leave New Orleans because it is a shit basketball city. It's an awful basketball city.
So essentially, though, if neither team wins a championship, you think the Pelicans still lost the trade?
Yeah, because I view it like the
Even
Kyrie.
if
I view it like the Kyrie Irving trade with like when he went to Boston and stuff. It's a failure for both teams. Because again, LeBron's team ended up getting worse, and he didn't win a championship without Kyrie, and Kyrie didn't even stay in Boston. So to me, that was just a wash trade. So these things take time. Like based on what I'm saying, it's gonna take time for this mean to truly see who won the trade. It's different with the Raptors because the Raptors won a title right away and then Kawhi left. If you were to tell a Raptors fan, you know, oh, you're only going to have Kawhi for a year, but it's going to lead you to a championship, 10 times out of 10, they take that.
Yeah. But what if Anthony Davis does decide to go this year? The Lakers get the chip and then leave. And then he leaves.
I think that's still a win for the Lakers. They got their championship.
Okay.
And they did it for Kobe.
They did it for Kobe.
Okay.
And that would solidify LeBron as the GOAT because he'd be one of the first players.
So you think the Pelicans have to win a championship with what they have now at some point for it to be considered a fair trade?
Yeah, because what are you in the league trying to do? Are you just sitting here trying to be mediocre? And
Yes.
Well,
What
if you're not in it, if you're not making moves to try and win a championship, whether it's now or the future, then you're just doing the wrong business. That's how I view every sport. I guess sometimes you're not in a position to win all the time, like Memphis isn't, but Memphis has some young talent, so they gotta feel like, oh, we get the right pieces. The Pelicans, they have a lot of pieces to work with. They got a lot to work with. So I'm saying they can be one of those teams, but I just feel like if you're not in the business to win, then why are you playing? Like, what's the point?
That's a fair point.
But that's how I personally view it. Other people may view it differently because, for whatever reason, but reasons I can't necessarily think of off the top of my head. But
That's fair.
A couple other things going on in the NBA. The Raptors are hot. They're on an 11-game winning streak.
11 games, yeah.
Second in the Eastern Conference, just behind the Bucks.
Like I said, if they were to make the finals again this year, I wouldn't bat a freaking eye.
Nope, not at all.
Wouldn't
The
bat an eye.
Bucks are actually talking about changing up their roster too at this deadline.
Yeah, Bucks are trying to go all in. Like they're trying to cash in on Giannis while he's still here. LOL.
Yeah.
And he's not in Golden State.
And he's not in Golden State. Sad days.
There's a couple strings struggling right now. The Magic are struggling.
Yeah.
Sixers. Well, I guess the Magic though they weren't really expected to be anything great
Right.
this year. Sixers though they've been struggling.
Well, but if you go back to the start of the season, you'd say I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic got that.
Well, and I did say I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic made the playoffs, but I mean
Right.
they weren't.
And now they're just
Yeah.
yeah.
We actually forgot pretty big news out of the NBA. Both Trae Young and Kyrie Irving got hurt this last week.
Yeah.
There was actually real thought that people thought Kyrie Irving was going to be done for the season.
Kyrie,
and up
it's
to a
just
year.
a couple weeks, right?
Yes, now it was downgraded a couple weeks, but when people saw Kyrie get hurt, they thought that he tore something in his knee.
It looked like it.
Yeah, and it looked really bad. But yeah, he'll probably be done for a couple of weeks, if not the rest of the season, because they're not playing anything for this anyways.
No, they're banking on next year.
Yeah, with Kevin Durant coming back and Kyrie, obviously, DeAndre Jordan. That team would be scary next year.
The Jazz are also struggling.
Pacers got Oladipo back.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did.
and it was awesome. Seeing his first game back was awesome. Pacers
Not
about
for
to,
me.
huh?
It wasn't great.
Are you a Bulls fan?
Oh, that's right, because they played the Bulls. Pacers about to be scary though. Come playoff time, that's a team I don't want to play in the play. If I saw that I had to play the Pacers in a best of 7 series, that is not going to be a good time.
Yeah, Duggan said the Jazz. They started the year off hot.
They were doing good, and they're
They're
just
literally just doing good like a few weeks ago. They're on they won like 14 of the last 16 games.
Yeah, now they're
on a 4-game losing streak.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, I still think the Jazz are a dark horse, but
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think they're just in a kind of a lull at the
The
moment.
Nuggets aren't really getting talked about this year.
they're not.
No, and they're kind
They'll
of
be kind of a sleeper this
they're
year.
doing decent. They're not doing horribly fantastic. I think they're what they want to be right now. They're not necessarily the talk of the town, but they're still holding it strong.
Which is good.
So
Yeah.
they're above the Rockets though, which is good. So we don't like James Harden or Russell Westbrook.
I like James Harden. I don't like James.
We don't really like him. He's just
James
that
Harden.
He got.
is a bitch.
You see what happened? You guys, I don't know if you watched the game, the Zion game. He ran into Zion, and he's the one that got hurt.
Love that.
Zion was just standing
James
there.
Harden just
the
running
fuck
into
you doing after me?
James Harden's running into a brick wall.
James Harden fell. He's like, oh, he had to go off the court. It was funny.
Man.
But
what a
yeah,
bitch.
that's what I thought too. I lost my respect. I'm like,
To be
really?
fair, well,
You gonna let that kid that I'm older than do that to you? Because Zion is a week.
I'm older than Zion.
I am a week older than Zion.
I
And if that doesn't make me feel like
how,
I failed in life, I don't know what
how
will.
old is Zion?
Zion is 19 years old. His birthday is July 6, 2000.
I'm a whole ass year older than Zion.
July 6th. I am 2 weeks older than Zion.
Yeah.
Look at me now, boys.
A full year old in Zion too.
I'm 3 months older than Zion.
Shit, I might be older than the entire draft class next year. Like, there's a fair chance.
Well, you best get doing something.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
look at us.
Hey,
Who would have thought?
Hey,
Not me.
Hey, you know, they may have been first picks in the draft, but we have Ben, who's been the first pick in several.
Yeah, we have the
drafts.
real athlete.
Yeah,
in
right here,
this
guys.
household,
And
so.
we all get to do a podcast that has Ben on it. So
Yeah, right, I could be living out my professional sports dreams, except for I'm sitting here with you guys talking about sports.
Thanks, Ben.
Talk about
You're
sports
welcome.
in the dark with a lit up candle. This is where I want to be. This is, I've spoken. This is the way.
It was a lot brighter earlier, but...
So the main event of the NBA before we get to our final here. Timberwolves are sucking it up.
Holy shit, they're bad.
I just found out today that Cat hasn't won at all since November.
Yeah, November 27th. How about that?
To make things worse, Glenn Taylor's getting sued by former people on the team's like staff, and Kevin McHale's a part of it.
Honestly, delete the franchise.
I said just relocate the whole team to Seattle. I mean,
Delete them. Delete.
The Warriors have a chance to pass them? They're getting close.
Yeah, the
Not if
Timberwolves
they
only
trade
have
away.
4 more wins than the Warriors. But to be fair, they're the 2 teams on the East. I'm pretty sure it's the Knicks and one other team also only have 13 wins though too.
How many wins do the T-Wolves
The
have?
Cavs,
Wait,
the Hawks,
15.
and the
How many wins do the Knicks have?
The Knicks have 14 wins.
They have 40. Timberwolves have 15.
So the Timberwolves are only 1 win better than the Knicks?
Yeah, they'll
Hell
lose.
yeah,
The
well
Cavaliers.
played.
But to be fair,
They play the
Cavaliers
Kings,
and the
so,
Hawks
yeah.
have
Because at least
13.
the Warriors have the injury excuse.
Yeah.
The Knicks are bad, and the Timberwolves are.
Yeah.
To be fair, like I said, the Hawks have 13 wins, which
Right,
is
but
very
again,
bad.
they don't have a good. Yeah, they're bad, but still.
So
Yeah.
after
Delete the
today,
franchise. Delete the team.
After today, either the Cavs or the Knicks will have just as many wins as the Timberwolves.
Blech.
So that's
Wait, do the
what
Cavs
we're-
play the Knicks today?
Yeah, the Cavs.
Oh
are
no!
playing- The Cavs are currently playing the Knicks.
Who's
What's the
winning?
score?
It's 26-21 with 3:35 left in the first. It's a barn burner right there.
How much you guys want to guess tickets costed for Knicks Cavaliers?
Probably like
$25.
Oh, I bet they weren't even that expensive.
well, it depends if it was in Madison or if it was.
No, it's in
It's
Cleveland.
Oh,
But,
so it's a little bit more expensive then.
but I think at this point, though, for sure, Andrew Wiggins is officially like he's
A bum.
he's probably.
I'm sorry, I
good
think
with-
Cat's a bum.
I don't think Cat's a bum. I think Cat's a great player.
I think Cat's a
he
bitch.
is soft.
Oh.
He is soft.
I think Cat's
he-
a bitch.
He
Oh.
played and then he got paid like Wiggins did, and now he's
Oh,
like, well, I got the money, so if I
You know
don't
what's
like
so
this
funny?
team,
Now that I can view this in a different light, literally Jimmy Butler was just so right about this team it wasn't even funny. And
Yeah.
then he went to Miami. The difference is young talent that actually tries.
Well, here's the thing, and I did see something about this. I will say the thing about Miami's young guys is they haven't gotten paid, and that's what I stand by. Is Wiggins and Towns got paid? They don't give a fuck because they know they're getting
Right.
paid no matter what.
Right.
But the guys in Miami, they're busting their asses because they know that they could be cut at any day.
Yeah, and that's
You
fair.
know, like-
And that's fair. But the fact that, but Jimmy, well, yeah. But the thing, okay. So when did Cat get paid?
Cat got paid the offseason that Butler got brought in because
Oh,
that was his
okay.
extension, and-
Because I was gonna say because Jimmy was noticing these problems when he first got
Yeah.
there. But that makes sense. I mean, 'cause- yeah, it's an interesting point. But
it was funny though because I did see this post that said, in hindsight, looking back on it now, would Timberwolves have rather had them keep Jimmy Butler and move on from Cat and get assets for Towns and then build around Jimmy Butler?
honestly, that probably would have been the move. That honestly
Because
had to
then
be the
that would
move.
have kept them in a.
You can't win a championship with Cat. I don't think you can win a championship with Jimmy Butler, but I think it's easier to build around Jimmy Butler than it is Cat.
Yeah.
So, but that's also kind of something funny to think about. He went to the Timberwolves, and we've kind of determined that Cat is soft. And then, obviously, he went to the 76ers, and we've kind of determined Joel Embiid is soft.
True, and no one's soft on Miami right now.
Well, it's funny though too because I remember in Minnesota, I thought Jimmy Butler was cancer. Like
I thought it was
Jimmy
too.
Butler.
Maybe
was
now
the
he's
problem.
just right. Maybe now he's just right.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler was right. Like he's you
Because
know.
I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard a peep out of him in Miami.
Yeah, no.
Haven't heard a peep, and they're low key what the 4th seed in the East right now,
Yeah,
3rd seed in the
probably.
East.
He said a few small things, but nothing about Miami.
Well, yeah, that's
He's
Jimmy
doing
Butler.
good, yeah.
That's just Jimmy Butler being Jimmy Butler. But like, I have heard no issue with team chemistry.
Yeah.
In fact, I've heard nothing but great things about team chemistry with Miami.
Yeah,
Duncan,
it just shows,
yeah.
like I said, those young guys that haven't been paid yet that are busting their asses to actually.
Yeah, but
do
honestly though, shout out to Eric Spoelstra,
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
second best coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I almost at one point bought a Jimmy Butler Bulls jersey.
I would still want a Jimmy Butler Bulls jersey. Like, it would mean something.
Sorry, my friend has a Jimmy Butler T-Wolves jersey. That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, that one doesn't mean shit.
All right, well, we'll keep you updated on all the NBA trades and stuff at SighSquadPod on Twitter, Instagram.
But we were talking
Go
about
Old Spice car.
some players going to free agency in the off season.
Where are we?
Yeah, well, we talked about Anthony Davis for a second, potentially going to the free agency
You want to get into that now?
with Chris Bryant.
We're going to cover that? That was like a week and a half ago. Chris Bryant lost his agreements against the Cubs, will be a free agent in the 2021 season. Pitchers and catchers starts next week. But it's not baseball season, guys. It's XFL season.
True.
It's the road to WrestleMania.
Bamba season.
MLS starts in a month, so that's the real sport that we all need to be talking about.
Boomer.
Don't worry, guys. NFL drafts in April. We're not
There
that
you
far
go.
away
There
from
you
it.
go. There you go.
I turned 20 in April, but
No, that's good. No, that's what I was saying.
but Duncan was like, it was a week and a half ago. I saw it. I was actually sitting at Jersey Mike's
Yeah.
and trying it
Shop.
out, and I looked at the TV and it was like,
Yeah.
Chris Bryant's pissed. I'm like, uh-oh.
So
I
that
do
might be
have
about
breaking NBA news.
Ooh.
What?
Okay, is it actual breaking?
Breaking. Like
Breaking.
Breaking NBA rumor.
What's an
Breaking
NBA rumor?
Okay.
Hey, you were talking about baseball real quick. Astros just hired their new GM,
Oh,
James
final.
Click.
Who?
James Click,
see, I
former
thought
VP for the Rays.
it would have been funny if the Astros would have never hired a GM, because then the Texans and the Astros both could have gone without a GM.
What's your breaking rumor?
Andre Iguodala.
Dude, that's been
Shot to
another
the Milwaukee
rumor.
Bucks for a first round pick from the Pacers, right?
No. If
He's prepared to sit for the rest of the season.
he
right?
will sit if he's not traded.
Why? That Grizzlies team is
He's
good.
pissed off.
Yeah, they can literally be a playoff team.
I don't know.
That seems
They
like
are a
Grizzlies-
playoff team as of right
yeah,
now.
they are. Huh. Weird.
Wow, you are right. You're right. That's kind of breaking.
I
Yeah, but
just got the
1 minute
notification.
again,
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why you'd be pissed. They're a decent team. Not great.
I knew he was upset,
I knew he was upset, but
but not sitting upset.
like
I
that
don't know.
team in 3 years, like obviously he's probably not gonna want to be there in 3 years.
No, but like in a few years, Jaren Jackson, Ja Morant, like team's gonna be fun to watch if they're not already fun to watch already.
Wow.
So as you guys all know, last week we lost one of the best basketball players of all time, Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant, along with the other victims in the crash, John Altobelli, his wife Carrie, and daughter Alyssa, Christina, is it Mauser? Okay. Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, and Ara Zabayan.
Yeah, he's the pilot.
Right. I just want to make sure I get these names right. But of course, they're on their way to a basketball tournament. I don't really. At this point, like obviously it's been over a week, or at least close to a week. At least at this point, want to make sure we've mourned. I know I've mourned. I was really, really sad when I found out. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
It's going to be one of those things where it's like you knew exactly where you were, what you were doing when it happened. But I just want to make sure we take the time to remember how great Kobe was. Like, let's just talk about nothing but how great Kobe was. Not only as a basketball player, but as a person.
Actually, it's funny that you say just as a person. In our Mount Rushmore list, one of my Kobe moments was actually when he got referenced as Gigi's dad. It was, I don't know if you've seen that one reporter that
That hurt.
she put out the story of it. Kobe Bryant was so proud when he got referenced as Gigi's dad and not Kobe, but as her dad. Like, it made him feel so happy because he was so proud of his NBA career, but he was so much more proud of him being a father.
That makes my eyes sweat a little bit. That's.
Well, I mean, like Elle Duncan, when she talked about like what Kobe meant to her and her big thing with everything getting started and the whole hashtag girl dad moment.
Yeah, no kidding.
Movement, like it just makes like it just really kind of makes it seem like being a father is cool, like on a different level.
Yeah, it's just tough because it's just so I work at Lids. Right now we're doing a thing where we're doing like free Kobe.
I saw that.
Yeah, which is awesome that we're doing free Kobe patches and stuff. But like but the thing is like it's just crazy because he puts in perspective how like impactful he was to so many people that they haven't even met. Like I've never met Kobe, but like I was sad like I lost like a good friend, you know.
Yeah.
When I grew up watching basketball, like I never got to see much of the 8 years of Kobe. I was more in the 24 era. But like when I was growing up, it was still Kobe, it was LeBron, it was Dwayne Wade. Like those are my guys growing up watching them play, and it's just it's the Black Mamba. I just grew up just knowing Kobe, just yelling Kobe, shooting a garbage, or like me and friends were playing pickup basketball. Like that's just what I grew up with. And as I was growing up to love basketball more, Kobe was just always one of those players there. And in my opinion, he's the third best basketball player to ever graze the court, you know, and greatest Laker of all time. One of the best competitors, one of the best defensive players of all time, one of the best stories, you know, and you know, you can say what you want about, you know, oh, he's, you know, ball hog or his relationship with Shaq didn't end well. That's whatever. Kobe always stayed the same. Kobe was always true to himself. And the one thing Kobe is like, so there's always that debate about, you know, who's the best player, Michael Jordan or LeBron. That's obviously the beef I get. But one thing we can always agree on is Kobe's fucking great. Like, Kobe was so good. Kobe did things better than Michael. Kobe did things better than LeBron. Like, Kobe was more of an artist. LeBron is a bulldozer. Michael Jordan is an assassin. But Kobe was an artist in how he played.
That's a great analogy, actually.
Kobe did everything with such fluidity and such great pace. And he was just such a natural scorer. He was just such a natural basketball player that he just blew you away with everything that he did. So that's how I always remember Kobe. So, you know, rest in peace to everyone in the crash. But I want to talk about how great he was. So, does anybody else have anything to say about Kobe Bryant?
So, in the past week, with his passing, I realized a lot about like NBA culture and basketball culture that I missed because I really didn't get into the NBA until 2017. Like, I'm very new, and like going back watching highlights, you know, just seeing how everything's touched. It actually like kind of brought me back to elementary school when I actually like one of the only basketball players I knew growing up was Kobe Bryant. Obviously Michael Jordan, obviously Kobe Bryant, and then Dwayne Wade's also in the mix. But I remember one day, this kid I was in class with came to school wearing Kobe Bryant jersey, and he was just like, yeah, this is one of the best players ever. It's Kobe. And that was actually also the day I learned about whenever you throw something in the trash, say Kobe, right? And I didn't do that at first, but then like the next year that started. So I had Kobe Bryant basketball like lifestyle before I was into basketball.
Mama mentality.
Yeah.
Mama mentality is not like that's not even just play basketball. That's how you should approach life. Mama mentality, that's always. But you know what? So for in honor of Kobe, we're gonna do a group Mount Rushmore. Changing it up. We're doing a group Mount Rushmore. Kobe's best moments, and honestly, we could probably like if it's. Like, I don't even think we can really reduce it to 4. Like, I think we should just start spewing stuff out. Like, just some of his, like obviously some moments just stand out above the rest. Like, there are some, like, the obvious ones. But let's just discuss. Let's just talk about how great Kobe was. One thing that I think we can all agree on for his best moment, his 81-point game against Toronto. That's not even a question. That's what is the epitome of Kobe. And that was actually the game where I believe it was his grandma. It was his first only game she ever attended. Scored 81 points. Another big one is obviously his last game where Kobe went out doing what Kobe does best. Shooting it and scoring. Like, I remember watching that last game, like not only live, but when they did the replay of it too. It's just like And it's just funny. Like he shot the ball a lot. Like he was really just going for it that last game. But he scored 60 points, and that's because that's just what Kobe does, man. He's a scorer.
Yeah. Other great moments of him, set the record, had the record for a while of most 3-pointers in a game when he hit 12 of them.
Yeah.
At that point, that was looked at as one of those records that a lot of people didn't think would have been touched, because the NBA was so different back then. But when Kobe hit 12 threes, it was like, holy shit. Kobe Bryant hit 12 3-pointers in a game, and, that was something really special.
Yeah.
At the time, in his career. Another great one, and actually, this one is, I think, one of the greatest memories of summing up Kobe Bryant with the Mamba mentality is, a lot of people don't forget, his very first appearance, he airballed a shot to win for the Lakers, and he missed.
Damn.
But you look at him now,
exactly.
One of the most decorated, basketball players ever to live. But, he didn't let that one missed shot that lost the game phase him.
Because he would just go on to make a lot more game winners from then on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then and that's just it too. Like, it's a lot of it too. It's just a lot of that Mamba mentality, and it's just crazy. So because one of my favorite plays, I put this down just because it's just one of my favorite plays. Probably one of the most iconic plays was just the lob to Shaq.
Yeah.
Gets the Portland Trail Blazers in the Western Conference Finals. That put the game away. Shaq's fucking pointing at it, going crazy. Like, that was the epitome of Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Like, we talk about, like, Showtime Lakers. That era of basketball for the Lakers was literally just called Shaq and Kobe. Because that's how impactful they were. That was the epitome of Shaq and Kobe. No matter what bullshit they had going on in the locker room and off the court, they found a way to just put it all aside and become a dynasty in that time.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of going to piggyback off you, like, being referenced as GZ dad. Like, because I did this just because it's just how Kobe was as a person and who he was going to be post-retirement. Was when he went to that Nets game and he was coaching up his daughter like, to me, that's just so cool now looking back on it, because, like, that was just Kobe being Kobe, like, teaching his daughter things about basketball. And one thing that was cool, and they asked, like, oh, don't you ever wish you had a son? He was like, nope, Gigi's gonna carry on the legacy just fine. Like, that's just cool to me. And now looking back, like, that's just how Kobe was. It's just sad. That's all.
Something else that really shows his mentality towards the game that a few players have, but not many, is after he shot his free throws after he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
I know Klay Thompson did something similar in the couple seasons, and everybody looked at that as, like, he wouldn't have done that if Kobe Bryant wouldn't have done that first.
Klay Thompson did it in the finals last year. He tore his ACL, and he wanted to make both the free throws because he knew if he would have went if he wouldn't have shot the free throws, he wouldn't have a chance at coming back.
Right.
And that's just the mindset. It's literally just phrase Mamba mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can pass that on to, like, I don't know a player in the NBA that hasn't said something how Kobe has impacted them.
Yeah, no kidding.
And for that to be, like, something that's even in the realm of true.
Yeah, because,
it's
like,
just crazy.
Well, and that's the thing, because a lot of these young guys that are coming up, like Kobe was their Michael Jordan growing up. Like, they inspired them to play basketball, and
Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis, Trae Young, Kyrie Irving. Like, that is their that's their MJ. Like, that is their guy that inspired them to play basketball.
Well, yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. It's something that's never. I don't think people are ever gonna truly get over it. But it's just one of those things where we just gotta try and celebrate everything he's done and everything he was gonna do for the game. And I just want to make sure we remember how great Kobe was. Just not only as a player, but as a person. So.
And I think that it shows with how not only Lakers fans or basketball fans or people in California, it's like worldwide. Like, we're sitting in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about it. Like, that's the thing, too. And I've just thought about this a lot, too. It's like, I was doing those patches for guys who weren't even Laker fans. I'm not a Laker fan, but I'm just I just love basketball, and Kobe is a part of basketball. Not only just in America, but globally. We would not see the global talent arguably two of the best young players in the NBA right now are Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. They would not be playing if it wasn't for Kobe.
Right.
Because Kobe was a global ambassador, It didn't matter what team you rooted for. If you were a Celtics fan, a Clippers fan, a Timberwolves, or a freaking Shanghai Sharks fan in China, like, it didn't matter. You knew who Kobe was. You respected Kobe. You just loved Kobe. You loved Kobe. You know, and he was just such an ambassador for the sport, which is the NBA just takes a lot of pride in. And, you know, and I think that's another reason why they should change the NBA logo to him, because he was just such a huge ambassador for the game. The game would not be what it is if it wasn't for Kobe Bryant. It wouldn't be as popular as it is today without Kobe, I don't think.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kobe, and everyone on the helicopter crash, but I feel like we got to end on a
like Kobe would say, or he did say, Mamba out.
Mamba out. Damn.
Drops the mic.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the Lakers logo.
But he'll definitely, his legend, and he's legendary. He'll live on forever.
Oh, without a doubt. I think they should retire 24-8 throughout the league.
Oh, I like that they are.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban said no one's ever wearing 24 again, which is awesome.
So, yeah.
There'll be.
So I feel like we got to end on a very
upbeat, I don't know how to do that.
I don't.
Brighter news, I guess, out of this, like you guys said, like the teams are retiring his number and stuff. Paul George said that he might consider switching back to 24 in honor of Kobe, actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Play as 24, so.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I ain't gonna lie, but it would just be kind of weird seeing 24 like that on a Clippers jersey.
Yeah.
You know, it would just be kind of ironic, but.
Or another upside that we can look at this is the Charlotte Hornets for making the dumbass mistake of trading Peja Stojakovic to the Lakers. Vlade Divac, sorry. Vlade Divac to Los Angeles.
True.
Hornets traded Kobe to Los Angeles for Vlade
Divac. Right, I knew what you were getting at, though, yeah.
So we can thank the Charlotte Hornets for giving us Kobe Bryant in Los Angeles. Otherwise, the league might have turned out very different. So.
Right, who knows, maybe... Because that's the thing, because Kobe would have been good regardless of where he went, because he just had Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter where he went.
But the question is would Shaq wanted to have joined him
in
Charlotte?
Oh, gosh, no. Absolutely not. If he didn't want to stay in Orlando, like, there's no... I mean, Charlotte's nice. Like, I love Charlotte, but it's just like, no. Charlotte's too small for Shaq. He needed to go to New York or L.A.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Just think about Shaquille O'Neal going.
But then Shaquille O'Neal's legacy would have been different because he would have maybe gone to the Lakers. But where's Kobe?
Yeah.
Where's
like
Kobe?
you said, what if he went to like the Knicks?
What if he went to New York?
You know.
And then
crazy
what if scenarios.
But yeah, that's the way I think we'll end the podcast this week.
For sure. Well, I'm Noah.
I'm Duncan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Brian.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.